by a score of 6-0. Since then, they've lost 3 ball games, falling to River Falls 15-6, and losing a doubleheader to Hudson here at Jack Hackman Field last Saturday, 12-2 and 2-1. Last night, the Tigers got back in the win column by winning a non-conference game with Medford by a score of 12-7. DC Everest also 2-3. The Evergreens lost their first 3 ball games, losing a doubleheader to Mukwonago 7-4 and 5-3, and they also lost at New Richmond 9-2. Last Thursday, the Evergreens won at Eau Claire North 5-3, and on Saturday won a ball game at Janesville Parker by a score of 8-5. So ball clubs 2-3 as they enter Wisconsin Valley Conference play in this one today. On the mound this afternoon for DC Everest, it's Cole O'Brien, and throwing for the Marshfield Tigers, Tyler Kramer. Marshfield and DC Everest, Wisconsin Valley Conference baseball this afternoon at Jack Hackman Field in Marshfield. And back with more of our pregame report following these messages. His time with Green Bay last year as a run blocker, but did catch 1 pass for 2 yards. So as of right now, Green Bay has 4 tight ends on the roster, as Tucker Kraft remains the likely starter with a healthy Musgrave as the backup. And so Fitzpatrick and Ben Sims will battle for the 3rd tight end spot in Green Bay. But the Packers are re-signing tight end John Fitzpatrick for the 2025 NFL season. Marshfield and DC Everest this afternoon. Wisconsin Valley Conference baseball from Jack Hackman Field in Marshfield. We'll come back momentarily and check in with Tiger baseball coach John Southworth, get his thoughts on this ball club and the upcoming baseball season as our pregame report continues following these messages. Pregame thoughts, the Tigers facing DC Everest in Wisconsin Valley Conference baseball today here at Jack Hackman Field in Marshfield. Back with more of our pregame report in just a moment.
High school sports coverage is brought to you by Courtesy Auto.
Nuts Deep 2, a Marshfield favorite for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Soup, salad, pizza, omelets, sandwiches, wraps, and burgers. How about appetizers like loaded tots and super nuts nachos? 14 large TVs to watch all your favorite games. Plus, entertainment and event space for groups large and small for your upcoming parties. Nuts Deep 2 again, awarded Best Burgers and Fish Fry in Marshfield. Nuts Deep 2 on South Central Avenue in Marshfield and Nuts Deep 2 North in Spencer.
Join the Gross family of satisfied customers at Gross Buick in Marshfield. Come see their large selection of cars, trucks and SUVs on the Marshfield lot. Or find it at grossauto.com, and we'll have it delivered to Marshfield for your convenience. You'll love their people and state-of-the-art service department, where service guests get a free courtesy car. Top it all off with the Gross lifetime engine warranty on most vehicles. Gross Buick of Marshfield.
Tired of hearing about checking account features? So are we. It's more.
Skisports.com, Marshfield Tigers and DC Everest meeting in this matchup today. This is, again, the Wisconsin Valley Conference opener for both ball clubs this afternoon. Also in Wisconsin Valley Conference baseball today, Wisconsin Rapids at Wausau East. Merrill is at Stevens Point. Wausau West has the conference bye. The Warriors facing Tomahawk at Wausau West High School today. Well, the weather conditions today, somewhat better than yesterday. We're out here for the Columbus-Spencer game yesterday. It was cool, very breezy, and dark and overcast. Today, it's cool and breezy and bright sunshine. So I guess that's somewhat better than it was 24 hours ago. Temperature at game time here about 46 degrees, but also a very strong wind from the northwest at 20 miles an hour. Now, yesterday, we had strong winds from the west blowing across the field from right field to the left field corner, helping the right-handed batters. Today, that wind basically blowing straight out towards center or right center field. So a left-handed batter hitting the ball in that gap will be really helped by that breeze today. So keep that in mind. That could play some havoc with some of the outfielders in this ball game this afternoon. Otherwise, bright sunshine, and so a good day for baseball here at Jack Hackman Field. If you're coming out to take in the ball game, make sure you're bundled up somewhat with a sweater or a warm jacket, a hat, and enjoy the ball game here in the grandstand here at Jack Hackman Field. Marshfield and DC Everest this afternoon, baseball action in Wisconsin Valley Conference play. Let's review the lineups for this ball game. First of all, for DC Everest, the leadoff hitter is the DH Carter Miller. Miller DHing, and leading off today, he's batting in place of pitcher Cole O'Brien. Batting second for the Evergreens is center fielder Ty Rohde. Rohde in center field, batting second. Hitting third is catcher Cole Van Slyke. Van Slyke catching and batting number 3. Hitting fourth is third baseman Nevin Poppy. Poppy at third base is batting fourth. Hitting fifth is right fielder Jack Dvorak. Dvorak in right field, batting fifth. The number 6 hitter is first baseman Aiden Haupt. Haupt at first base, batting sixth. Hitting seventh is second baseman Logan George. George at second base is batting seventh. Hitting eighth is left fielder Brennan Hochberger. Hochberger in left field, batting number 8. And the ninth hitter for DC Everest, the shortstop, George Jablonski. Jablonski at shortstop, batting number 9. The Marshfield Tiger batting order for today. Leading off at shortstop, Jacob Sadowska. Sadowska leading off and playing shortstop today. Batting second is third baseman Chase Robinson. Robinson batting second and playing third base today. Hitting third for Marshfield, center fielder Owen Griesbach. Griesbach batting third and playing center field. Hitting fourth is Tiger catcher Mason Anderson. Anderson catching and batting number 4. The fifth place hitter for Marshfield, first baseman Caleb Schaefer. Schaefer at first base is batting 5th. Hitting 6th for Marshfield, second baseman Connor Vanderberg. Vanderberg batting 6th and playing second base. Hitting 7th, pitcher Tyler Kramer. Kramer pitching, batting number 7. Hitting eighth, right fielder Tyler Cum. Cum playing right field, batting number 8. And the number 9 hitter for Marshfield, left fielder Dayton Bugar. Bugar in left field, batting number 9. You're listening to Wisconsin Valley Conference Baseball on Sports Radio 92.3 FM, WOSQ, Spencer Marshfield, and WOSQFM.com, as well as ZaleskiSports.com. I'm Gene Delisio at Jack Hackman Field in Marshfield. Marshfield and DC Everest meeting in this Wisconsin Valley Conference matchup today. Both ball clubs being introduced to the crowd here at Jack Hackman Field. As play set to begin, each team beginning Wisconsin Valley Conference play with this ball game this afternoon. A nice crowd on hand to take in the ball game this afternoon, despite the rather cool conditions. Now, before this ball game gets underway, let's take a few moments for our national anthem. Our national anthem as we're set for baseball here at Jack Hackman Field. Marshfield Tigers and DC Everest meeting in this Wisconsin Valley Conference opener this afternoon. Tigers are on the field. Defensively for Marshfield this afternoon, at first base is Caleb Schaefer. At second base, Connor Vandenberg. At shortstop, Jacob Sadowska. At third base, Chase Robinson. The right fielder is Tyler Cum. In center field, Owen Griesbach. In left field, Dayton Bugar. The catcher is Mason Anderson. And pitching for Marshfield today, right-hander Tyler Kramer. Just like yesterday, the crowd late arriving today. Not many people want to sit here in the grandstand on a cool day for a half hour or 45 minutes before game time. So folks staying in their cars and then coming into the stadium just before the game begins. But a nice crowd is on hand for the ball game this afternoon between Marshfield and DC Everest. Bright sunshine right now. Once again, cool conditions, temperatures in the mid-40s with a northwest wind about 20 miles an hour. So the wind chill probably in the 30s somewhere. Folks sitting below us in the home plate grandstand kind of shielded from that wind. That does help somewhat. It does pour through the bleachers on the first and third base side somewhat. So rather cool for those viewers for the ball game today. Tyler Kramer on the mound, finishing up his warm-up throws as we get set for baseball this afternoon. Tyler only a sophomore, but pitched well as a freshman on the Tiger baseball team last season, on the varsity team. Not a real big guy, but throws pretty hard. Has good command. And he might be the ace of this staff this year. He and Owen Griesbach, plus Chase Robinson can throw, Mason Anderson can throw. Number of options for Coach Southworth on this ball club this year. Tyler finishing up his Warm-up throws will get this ball game underway momentarily. Marshfield and DC Everest meeting this afternoon. And the leadoff man for the Evergreens this afternoon is the DH Carter Miller. Miller steps in, batting right-handed today. Longtime coach Dave Langben on the lines today for DC Everest. Kramer working from the stretch. And his first pitch breaks across the inside corner for a called strike. Play underway here at Jack Ackman Field. Marshfield and DC Everest in baseball action this afternoon. No balls, one strike on Carter Miller. Kramer ready. Throws once again. A big curveball. Breaks high and outside for a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike. Kramer working from the stretch exclusively. Many young pitchers do these days. He fires once again. Fastball inside, caromed off the glove of catcher Mason Anderson. Count on Miller now, 2 balls and 1 strike. Bright sunshine today, much different from yesterday. We had those heavy, dark, very gray clouds over the ballpark. Now Kramer throws 2-1. Fly ball in the gap in right center field. A long run for the right fielder come. He won't get there. Splits the outfielders and falls for extra bases. Miller to second base with a double. Carter Miller doubles in the gap in right center field.
Miller doubles to right, bringing up number 37.
And Everest has a leadoff man at second base here in the first inning. The Evergreen center fielder, Ty Rohde, batting next. He's batting left-handed. Slightly open stance. Kramer again from the stretch. Throws a breaking ball high and away for ball 1. Rohde quite erect as he stands at the plate. Don't see guys stand straight up like he does, but that's his style. Count 1 ball, no strikes. Kramer throws once again. Got the outside corner for a call strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. That wind blowing rather fiercely from the northwest. It's straight out towards right center field today. Here's the 1-1 delivery. Golf back up the middle and into center field for a base hit. Miller rounding third base, and he'll come home with a run. And Everest on top early, 1-0. That ball just eluding the grasp of Tiger pitcher Tyler Kramer going through the box. Ty Rohde singles to center field. Miller is in. And the Evergreens lead early, 1-0. The next Evergreens batter, the catcher Cole Van Slyke, also batting left-handed. So an early lead for DC Everest. Kramer checks the base runner and throws a curveball across for a called strike 1. Everest on top early, 1-0. Evergreens batting top of the first. Runner at first base and still nobody out. No balls, 1 strike on Cole Van Slyke. Stands back in there. Kramer checks the base runner. Tyler now throws low for a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike. Coach Southworth did mention in our pregame talk a few of his pitchers have had trouble throwing strikes early in the season. Something he and his staff are working on. Kramer throws 1-1. Fly ball in the gap in left field. Bugar back in the gap, reaches up and makes a fine running catch in left center field for the out. And Rohde back to first base. Well done by Dayton Bugar in left field to track down that long fly ball. And that's out number 1 here in the Everest first inning.
His first out of the inning.
Next batter for the Evergreens, third baseman Nevin Poppy. Poppy stands in, right-handed batter. Kramer checking the base runner, gets set and throws. Across for called, strike 1. Well, on this date, back in 1954, the modern Baltimore Orioles played their first ball game in Baltimore after their move from St. Louis, where they were the St. Louis Browns for many years. Kramer throws again, a big swing and a chopper down the third base line, rolling foul. 0-2. St. Louis Browns moved to Baltimore, became the Orioles. In 1954, there had been some Oriole teams earlier in the American League and the National League. This was the current Baltimore Orioles franchise. And they played their first ball game in 1954 on this date. Kramer from the stretch. Throws once again, a swing and a foul at the plate. They may rule that a swinging strike. Well, that now Poppy walking towards the dugout. Yes, it was a swinging strike 3. It looked like that ball may have been foul tipped, but the umpire says no. It actually tipped off the glove of catcher Mason Anderson. So Poppy out on strikes for the second out. And brings up the right fielder Jack Dvorak. Kramer's first strikeout today. Pitch by Kramer, breaking ball, bit high for ball 1. Everest on top, 1-0. Evergreen's batting, top of the first. Runner at first base and 2 outs. 1-0 on Jack Dvorak. Stands back in. Kramer to first base, and Rhodey dives back in safely. Baltimore, by the way, won that game over the White Sox 3-1. And the first Major League home run in Baltimore at Memorial Stadium, hit by Clint Courtney. Breaking ball a bit high for ball 2-0. Clint Courtney, a journeyman catcher for many years in the 50s for a number of ball clubs. And he hit the first Major League home run in the, at that time, new Memorial Stadium in Baltimore. Kramer throws 2-0. Low for ball, 3-0. And back in the 80s, they left that stadium and moved to Camden Yards, which has become one of the new legendary ballparks in baseball. 3 balls, no strikes to count. The pitch on the way, over for a called strike. Count 3-1. Tyler Kramer on the mound for Marshfield today. Gets this conference opening assignment this afternoon. Now Tyler throws 3-1. That's in there for a called strike. Dvorak tossing the bat away, but the umpire calls him back. The count now full, 3-2. With 2 outs, Rhodey at first base will be on the move with this pitch. Kramer looks at him and now steps off. Both the mound and home plate area in bright sunshine at this hour. Kramer ready once again. And the full count pitch popped foul over the screen. And Dvorak stays alive at 3-2. Rhodey back to first base. Everest scoring in the first inning here on a double and a single. And Rhodey still at first base now with 2 outs. Dvorak stands back in. Kramer gets set. And again, the 3-2 pitch. Low for ball 4. That sends Rhodey to second base with 2 outs. The Evergreens batter, the first baseman, Aiden Haupt. Haupt, batting right-handed, has the high socks, by the way. Few Everest ball players have that.
Number 22, Aiden Haupt.
Haupt digs in, and Kramer gets set and delivers, and hits him in the shoulder. Oh, now that ball may hit the bat. Looks like that's the call. Ball thrown over Haupt's head, but hit his bat for a foul ball. Break for the Tigers there. The count on Haupt now, no balls, 1 strike. You'll see that from time to time. The pitcher comes inside with the pitch. The batter ducks away, but the ball hits the bat for a foul ball. Here's the 0-1 delivery. Grounded foul on the third base side, 0-2. Or sometimes the ball hits that bat and rolls into fair territory where he's an easy out. But Kramer now ahead on the count, no balls and 2 strikes. Haupt digs in once again. Dvorak at first base not being held by Caleb Schaefer. Kramer sets and throws. Fly ball in foul ground on the right side, heading out of play. Count on Haupt remains 0-2 as he gets back in there. Nice crowd on hand today for a baseball here at Jack Hackman Field. Marshfield and DC Everest this afternoon. Again, Kramer throws 0-2. That's line towards right center field. That will fall for a base hit. Rhodey rounding third base. He'll come home. Dvorak to third base on a run-scoring base hit by Aiden Haupt. And Everest leads 2-0. My coaches hate to see that. Give up a base hit, especially a run-scoring base hit on an 0-2 count. Dvorak to third base, Haupt to first.
Haupt brings up number 7, Logan George.
And second baseman Logan George now batting for the Evergreens. Also batting right-handed. Kramer stays in the stretch here and throws low and outside. The runner goes. Throw down to second base is in time. A late start by the base runner Haupt. And Anderson throws to Jacob Sadowska to catch Haupt stealing to end the inning. That ball glanced away a bit from Anderson, but not very far. And Haupt tossed out to retire the side. Everest in the first inning, 2 runs on 3 hits. No errors, a walk, 1 man left on base. After 1/2 inning, our score is DC Everest 2 and the Marshfield Tigers coming to bat. We'll return to Jack Hackman Field and more baseball in just a moment.
Tired of hearing about checking account features? So are we. It's more about what you can do with your money to live the life you want. Forward Bank puts your access to everything you need in the palm of your hand. Mobile deposit, recurring digital payments, transfer funds, or pay a friend easily. Yes, our checking is free and includes all that you would expect. It's supported by your neighbors and friends at Forward, dedicated to serving our communities. Open online today at forward.bank.
Have you outgrown your old furniture? Well, I can relate. Then get into Mall Furniture today.
We are never short on inventory, and we are never short on bringing you great deals.
Living rooms, bedrooms, dining rooms, mattresses, recliners, lift chairs, and big clearance recliners. Head to Mall, because we got them all.
Mall Furniture and Mattress, West 9th Street, Marshfield.
Welcome to Bruce Orthodontics, where we provide comprehensive orthodontic care to patients of all ages. We are now accepting new patients, and we accept most insurances.
Orthodontics is much more than just a job to me. It is my passion and my life. What separates us from other orthodontists is constant continuing education for myself and my staff, compassion, and dedication. Here at Bruce Orthodontics, we change lives one smile at a time. I'd love the opportunity to meet you and transform your smile.
Call us to set up your free consultation today.
Baseball action at Jack Hackman Field in Marshfield. You can overcome that brisk wind. Very pleasant day. The bright sunshine, certainly much different than baseball conditions 24 hours ago. But still rather cool with a 20-mile-an-hour wind from the north. As this ball game starts today. Cole O'Brien, tall right-hander, closing out his warm-up throws as we get set for the Tigers to bat here in the first inning. O'Brien still getting loose. He'll start this first inning with a 2-run lead. Marshfield leadoff batter, shortstop Jacob Sadowska.
Leading up.
Jacob batting
Leading
left-handed.
off for the Tigers is number 3, Jacob Sadowska.
O'Brien also working from the stretch, looks like. He gets ready. And his first pitch on the way, over for a called strike 1. It's DC Everest 2, Marshfield nothing. Marshfield batting in the bottom half of the first inning here at Jack Hackman Field. O'Brien throws 0-1. Swung on and missed. No balls, 2 strikes. Jacob Sadowski's done a good job as a Tiger shortstop and leadoff man last few years. Now in his senior season. 0-2 pitch on the way. Way inside for ball. Jacob backs away. Count now 1-2. Outfielder is rather shallow. I'm not sure if that's because of the wind or because Jacob's not a real big guy. Here's the 1-2 delivery on the way. And that's on the inside corner, a called strike 3. Cole O'Brien fans the first man he faces today.
The strikeout brings up Chase Robinson.
Here's Tiger third baseman Chase Robinson. We saw that yesterday with the Columbus-Spencer game. The outfielder was quite shallow yesterday with the wind blowing across the outfield. Today, the wind blowing out, and they're still very shallow, especially Rhodey in center field. Robinson digs in. O'Brien set, and he now throws. Over for called strike 1. High school baseball today on WOSQ, brought to us by RE/MAX American Dream Realty, 901 North Central Avenue in Marshfield. The 0-1 to Chase Robinson. High and away for ball, 1 strike. The right connections, technology, and strategy to meet your home buying or selling vision. That's RE/MAX American Dream Realty, North Central Avenue in Marshfield. Ball and a strike on Chase Robinson. O'Brien throws once again, a big swing and a miss. No balls and 2 strikes. Folks still coming in to take in the ball game today. You can smell the aroma of some of the products at the concession stand throughout the ballpark. O'Brien now throws 1-2. That's low and outside for ball. 2 balls and 2 strikes. So the concession stand is operational. Stop by, get some refreshments, some snacks, and enjoy the ball game today. 2-2 on Chase Robinson. The pitch by O'Brien, rides high for a ball. And the count now full, 3-2. Chase batting number 2 for the Tigers today, stands in there once again. And O'Brien throws 3-2, up and away for ball 4. Marshfield has a 1-out base runner. And the Tiger batter is Owen Griesbach.
Robinson walks, bringing up number 22, Owen Griesbach.
Well, good to see Owen back in the Tiger lineup. Did not expect to see him this year, or at least not this early in the year. Owen suffering a knee injury during the football season. We thought he'd be done all year long. O'Brien throws here, fouled over the screen for strike 1. Everest on top, 2-0. Marshfield batting, bottom half of the first. 1 out, 1 on. 0-1 on Owen Griesbach. Owen, a very talented wrestler, and he contender for a state championship had he been healthy this winter. O'Brien throws once again. That ball lined to the gap in left center field, and that will drop for a base hit. Robinson taking third base. The ball eludes the left fielder. Robinson trying to come home. Now scampers back to third base as Griesbach goes to second. That ball eluded the center fielder Rhodey for just a few moments. And then Coach Southworth thought better of sending Chase, and so he holds at third. Owen Griesbach doubles to the gap in left center field. And Marshfield has base runners at second and third with only 1 out. Catcher Mason Anderson now batting for the Tigers. Everest pulls the infield in, even though it's still early in the ball game. Infield is in at all 4 stations. Now they back off. O'Brien working from the stretch here. And the pitch to Anderson. A big swing and a miss for strike 1. Owen, had he been healthy this winter, could have contended for a state championship in wrestling. Missed that, but did come back here for the baseball season. That's good to see. 0-1 on Mason Anderson. O'Brien from the stretch. Now gets set and delivers. Over for a called strike. 0-2. Tigers trying to come back, down early by 2. Those tying runs on base for Marshfield's cleanup man, Mason Anderson. Mason digs in once again. O'Brien checks the base runners. The 0-2 delivery, fouled back. Count stays 0-2. Bit surprised to see Everest play that infield in a few moments ago, but that may have been a miscommunication. The infielders now back at normal depth, only in the first inning. O'Brien set once again and throws 0-2. Over for a called strike 3. Pitch on the outside corner, big strikeout for Cole O'Brien. Out number 2, the Tiger batter now, first baseman Caleb Schaefer.
The strikeout brings up number 10, Caleb Schaefer.
Still 2 men in scoring position for Marshfield here in the first inning. Schaefer batting right-handed, a very open stance. That front foot pointed down the third base foul line. O'Brien ready. Now delivers. Across for a called strike 1. Everest on top 2-0 as Marshfield bats bottom half of the first. Runners at second and third and 2 out. 0-1 count on Caleb Schaefer. Cole O'Brien throwing for Everest today. Gets his sign. And now fires. Over for a called strike 2. Good pitch on the low outside corner. And O'Brien now ahead on the count. No balls and 2 strikes. Schaefer stands back in there, twirls the bat somewhat. And O'Brien gets back in the stretch position. Taking his time here. And now the 0-2 pitch on the way. That's in there for a called strike 3. So the Tigers get runners at second and third with only 1 out. But O'Brien strikes out 2 in a row to end the inning. Marshfield in the first. No runs on 1 hit. No errors, a walk, 2 men left on base. After 1 inning of play, our score is DC Everest 2, Marshfield 0. Back to Jack Hackman Field and more baseball in just a moment.
No errors and...
Is it time to replace your old gutters? Call Schwartz Seamless Gutters and protect your home with new seamless technology. No seams, no leaks. With free estimates in 2 days or less and workmanship guaranteed, our service is as seamless as our gutters.
The Sports Den, located on Marshfield's sunny south side since 1975. The Sports Den has the area's best selection of outdoor equipment. Find top brands of snowshoes, cross-country and downhill skis, snowboards, swimming equipment, skateboards, and more. The Sports Den has a full-service bike repair center along with top bike brands, Specialized, Trek, and others. The Sports Den is Central Wisconsin's Fat Bike headquarters. Visit the Sports Den in Marshfield Monday through Saturday and thesportsden.net.
Hey everybody, Nat over at Wheeler Chevrolet GMC, and I'm standing in our all-new Express Lane. Open now, no appointment necessary. Stop on in and get things like oil changes, filters, quick lubes. No appointment necessary. See you soon.
Meeting in this matchup this afternoon. We head to the second inning. Everest on top by 2 runs. 7, 8, 9 men due up for Everest here in the second inning. Leadoff man is second baseman Logan George standing in, batting right-handed. Right-hander Tyler Kramer throwing for Marshfield today. Sets himself and delivers a breaking ball across for a called strike 1. Everest batting, top half of the second, on top of this ball game 2-0. 0-1 on Logan George. Kramer gets set, fires once again. A big swing and a miss. No balls, 2 strikes. 2 good pitchers today between Kramer and Cole O'Brien. May not have many runs this afternoon. Here's the 0-2 delivery. Foul to the screen. Count stays 0-2 on Logan George, number 7 man in the DC Everest batting order today. Bright sunshine. Had very dark, gloomy clouds yesterday, but lots of sunshine here at Jack Hackman Field today. Kramer gets set, once again throws 0-2. In the dirt for a ball. 1 ball, 2 strikes. We'll keep an eye on that pitch count for both pitchers today. Kramer we have for 29 pitches. And O'Brien threw 19 in the first inning for DC Everest. Kramer ready once again. And throws 1-2. That's in the dirt again. Ball 2, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Coach Southworth mentioned before the ball game that his young pitchers in the bullpen have had trouble throwing strikes this year. That's a concern for Marshfield early in the campaign. 2-2 pitch on the way, a big swing and a miss. Tyler got that fastball up and in, and George could not resist. He's out on strikes. Kramer's second strikeout today. Batting next for Marshfield, for Everest rather, the left fielder Brennan Hochberger.
With 1 out, the batter is number 6, Brennan Hochberger.
Right-handed batter. Once again, Kramer stays in the stretch position at all times. Fires here, a curveball, breaks inside for ball 1. We were talking yesterday during the Columbus-Spencer broadcast that many pitchers do that today, just throw exclusively from the stretch. Kramer throws again, a big swing and a miss, 1-1. Although the pitchers yesterday did not. You had guys like Tyler Peterson of Spencer throwing from the windup with nobody on base. That's rather unusual today. 1-1 curveball wrapped in the third base side. Knocked down by Robinson, but he has no play. Chase gets an in-between hop, couldn't handle it, and so Hochberger reaches on an error. Marshfield's first error of the ball game. So a one-out base runner for DC Everest. The hitter now shortstop George Jablonski.
Number 16, George Jablonski.
Jablonski hitting right-handed. Hochberger at first base, held there by Caleb Schaefer. Kramer sets and throws a bit high for ball 1. Everest batting top half of the second, and they lead the Marshfield Tigers 2-0. 1 out, 1 on here in the second inning for the Evergreens. 1 ball, 1 strike on George Jablonski. Kramer ready. Throws once again. Pop foul on the first base side of the play. 1 ball, 1 strike. Some other ball games today on ZaleskiSports.com. That Columbus-Spencer game in Spencer now underway today. Greenwood at Loyal renewing their baseball rivalry this afternoon. That broadcast underway as well. Merrill at Stevens Point. Wisconsin Rapids at Wausau East. Those games all underway today on ZaleskiSports.com. 1 ball, 1 strike on George Jablonski. Tyler Kramer gets set. Throws. There's a bunt back to the mound. Picked up by Kramer. He'll play to first base in time for the out. And Hochberger moves to second base. Jablonski on the sacrifice for the second out. And DC Everest now with a base runner in scoring position for leadoff man Carter Miller, who doubled and scored his first time up.
With 2 outs, the batter is number 33, Carter Miller.
Scoring chance again for the Evergreens if they can come up with a 2-out hit here from their leadoff man Carter Miller. The pitch by Kramer, breaking ball, a big swing and a miss for strike 1. High school softball on Zaleski Sports today. Auburndale at Assumption. Wausau East at DC Everest. Pacelli at Medford, and the Marshfield Tigers at Wisconsin Rapids. Here's the 0-1 delivery. Breaking ball across. Nice curveball by Tyler Kramer. He gets ahead, 0-2. Those softball games all today on ZaleskiSports.com. They're all underway at this hour. 0-2 on Carter Miller. Kramer again from the stretch. Delivers a swing and a miss to end the inning. So DC Everest with a man to second base, but they cannot score here in the second. Evergreens get no runs on no hits. 1 error, 1 man left on base. After 1.5 innings of play, our score is DC Everest 2, Marshfield 0. More baseball coming up in just a moment.
Wondering what to feed your team after work, the game, or this weekend? Chips Hamburgers in Marshfield has tasty, char-broiled burgers for any hungry appetite. From the classic hamburger to the famous Chips Champ and everything in between. Check out our daily specials. Stop inside to enjoy your meal with comfortable seating. See Chips' complete menu of burgers, hot ham and cheese, hot beef, chicken and fish, fries, rings, curds, and ice cream, all served year-round. In a hurry? Same great menu in the drive-thru. Chips Hamburgers in Marshfield. Be a champ and have a chipperific day.
Is your business, church, or organization getting a fair deal on your copier contracts? Do you even know how much you're spending? Bauer & Fine Business Technologies has been in the office technology industry for 70 years. We have an award-winning service department, and customers love our fair and flexible service contracts. If you're currently a customer, thank you. If you currently work with one of our competitors, let's talk. We can tell you if you're overpaying or getting a good deal. BBT, we want to be the easiest vendor you work with. b-bt.com.
On Sports Radio 92.3 FM, WOSQ, Spencer, Marshfield, and WOSQFM.com, as well as ZaleskiSports.com. I'm Gene Delisio at Jack Hackman Field in Marshfield. Marshfield and DC Everest meeting in this Wisconsin Valley Conference opener today. Evergreen's on top 2-0 as Marshfield bats in the bottom half of the second inning. Tigers sending their 6, 7, 8 men to bat here against Cole O'Brien in the second inning. Leadoff man is the second baseman, Connor Vandenberg. Right-handed batter.
Leading off for the Tigers, number 21, Connor Vandenberg.
Connor digs in, batting right-handed. First pitch from O'Brien on the outside corner for a called strike one. Everest on top 2-0. Marshfield batting bottom half of the second here at Jack Hackman Field. O'Brien once again from the stretch. He now delivers a swing and a miss. 0-2. Good chance when you see a Wisconsin Valley Conference ball game this year on a Tuesday, you'll see the best pitchers on each ball club. Here's the 0-2 delivery. That's a breaking ball outside. Several years ago, the conference made a move on their schedule. So teams play each other Tuesday and Thursday. Marshfield goes to Schofield on Thursday for the return game. Here's the 1-2 pitch. A big curveball breaks high and tight for a ball. 2-2. And that's the way all the conference teams operate. You play the same team twice in 1 week. Ball game on Tuesday, return game on Thursday. 2-2 pitch on the way. A swing and a miss. And 4 strikeouts now for Cole O'Brien. 1 out. The batter is pitcher Tyler Kramer. And the conference went to that schedule several years ago to avoid a team making sure that their number one pitcher pitched against a certain team. Now you're forced to use your second pitcher, even against some of the other top teams in the conference. Tyler Kramer digs in. O'Brien now throws, fouled back for strike one. So usually teams will open a series, a Tuesday-Thursday series, with their number one guy on Tuesday and their second guy on Thursday. So we're seeing Kramer and O'Brien in this one this afternoon. 0-1 on Tyler Kramer. O'Brien throws again. Long foul fly ball to the right field line and into the first base side bullpen out of play. 0-2. So the guys you see on a Monday or a Friday or a weekend non-conference game, those are the third, fourth guys. 1 and 2 you'll see on Tuesdays and Thursdays in conference games. 0-2 on Tyler Kramer. Now O'Brien gets set and delivers. Line to right field and caught by the right fielder, Jack Dvorak. Boy, he had him played perfectly. Good job by Coach Langben as he had Dvorak as right fielder in the perfect spot. We were talking earlier. about the outfielders being rather shallow, but that's where Dvorak had to be to catch that line drive. Shaded towards the line and in shallow right field. That's one of those outs you credit to the coaching staff. Here's the Tiger right fielder Tyler Cum batting for the first time. Hitting left-handed. O'Brien gets set and delivers up and in for ball one. DC Everest on top, 2-0. Tigers batting, bottom half of the second. Bases empty and 2 out. 1 ball, no strikes on Tyler Cum. Number 8 man in the Marshfield batting order today. O'Brien gets ready and throws once again. Over for called strike 2. Strike 1 rather. 1 ball, 1 strike. That outfield remains rather shallow, especially in right field for the Evergreens. Now O'Brien's 1-1 pitch. A swing and a miss. Ball and 2 strikes. O'Brien settling in. It'll be a tough hurler for the Evergreens this year. Big right-hander. He's ahead here, a ball and 2 strikes. Cum digs in once again. O'Brien is set and now delivers. Half swing and a miss. They'll ring him up for strike 3. And 5 early strikeouts now for Cole O'Brien. In the second for Marshfield, no runs, no hits, no errors, no one left on base. We've played 2 innings and our score is DC Everest 2 and the Marshfield Tigers nothing. Back to Jack Hackman Field and more baseball in just a moment.
And going on.
Is it time to replace your old gutters? Call Schwartz Seamless Gutters and protect your home with new seamless technology. No seams, no leaks. With free estimates in 2 days or less and workmanship guaranteed, our service is as seamless as our gutters.
Hey everybody, Nat over at Wheeler Chevrolet GMC, and I'm standing in our all-new express lane. Open now, no appointment necessary. Stop on in and get things like oil changes, filters, quick lubes. No appointment necessary. See you soon.
Wondering what to feed your team after work, the game, or this weekend? Chips Hamburgers in Marshfield has tasty char-broiled burgers for any hungry appetite. From the classic hamburger to the famous Chips Champ and everything in between. Check out our daily specials. Stop inside to enjoy your meal with comfortable seating. See Chips' complete menu of burgers, hot ham and cheese, hot beef, chicken and fish, fries, rings, curds, and ice cream, all served year-round. In a hurry? Same great menu in the drive-thru. Chips Hamburgers in Marshfield. Be a champ and have a chipperific day.
Field and Marshfield Tigers and DC Everest. We move to the third inning. Everest has their 2-3-4 men due up against Marshfield's Tyler Kramer. Leadoff man for DC Everest, the center fielder Ty Rohde. RBI base hit and scored himself back in that 2-run first inning. The pitch by Tyler Kramer breaks outside for ball 1. It's DC Everest 2, Marshfield nothing. Evergreens batting top half of the third here at Jack Hackman Field. Rohde gets set, throws 1-0. Low and outside for ball, 2 balls, and no strikes. Nice day for baseball if you're not in that wind. If you're protected from that breeze, very pleasant. Kramer throws once again, misses down low for a ball. He's behind Rohde, 3 balls, no strikes. Game time temperature 46 with winds about 20 miles an hour. Next pitch up and in for ball 4. And Rohde walks on 4 pitches, the second walk issued by Tyler Kramer today. Leadoff base runner for the Evergreens, the batter now set catcher Cole Van Slyke, fly to left his first time up. Van Slyke batting left-handed. Pitch by Kramer, low and inside, and bounds away from the catcher Anderson to the screen. Rohde takes second base on the play. Wild pitch charged to Tyler Kramer. Rohde at second base, the count on Van Slyke, 1 ball, no strikes. We have a wind chill right now about 35, so rather chilly out there for baseball. Van Slyke digs in once again. And Kramer throws. And off the glove of the catcher, Anderson, to the screen once again. And Rhodey goes to third base. That will be a pass ball on the catcher, Mason Anderson. And Van Slyke now ahead 2 balls and no strikes. So a walk, a wild pitch, and a passed ball puts a DC Everest base runner at third base with nobody out. Kind of situation that does not appeal to coaches very often. Here's the 2-0 pitch on the way. That's a cross for a called strike. 2-1. And Everest right here in position to add to their lead. Van Slyke, the number 3 man in the Everest batting order today, stands in there once again. Pitch on the way. That's lined to deep right field. Cum will go back, way back. This ball over his head to the warning track. Rhodey will score. Van Slyke to second base. Rounding second base now goes back after a wide turn. A run-scoring double for Cole Van Slyke. And Everest now leads by a score of 3-0. Van Slyke with a long drive over the head of right fielder Tyler Cum.
Lewis, courtesy running. And at bat, number
We'll have a courtesy runner for the catcher, Cole Van Slyke. That's J.J. Lewis. J.J. Lewis, the courtesy runner. The batter now is the third baseman, Nevin Poppy, who struck out his first time up. 0 for 1. Kramer from the stretch. Throws low and outside for ball 1. So it's now Everest 3. Marshfield nothing. Everest batting here, top of the third. Runner at second base, and nobody out. Kramer throws again. Ground ball to the third base line, rolling foul. 1 ball, 1 strike. By the way, the umpires today behind home plate, Mike Lindau. And on the bases, John Klausnitzer. Seen John many times over the years. A Medford crew today. 1 ball, 1 strike on Nevin Poppy. And Kramer fires a breaking ball that just misses inside. 2 balls, 1 strike. Everest now up by 3 here in the third inning. Lewis leads at second base. The pitch by Kramer. Grounded foul at the plate. Count goes to 2 balls and 2 strikes. 4 hits for DC Everest today. 2 of those are doubles. And all 3 evergreen runs are earned today. Poppy stands in once again. He's the Everest cleanup batter this afternoon. Kramer working from the stretch. Now Poppy wants to step out. He calls time. Poppy, a tall right-handed batter, stands back in there. Kramer again checks the base runner. Here's the pitch. Ground ball left side and knocked down by Robinson. Gets up and throws to first base in time. The runner will advance after that throw, but a good play by Chase Robinson at third base, going to his knees to grab that ground ball, then getting up and throwing out Nevin Poppy for out number 1. And on that play, the courtesy runner Lewis takes third base. 1 out. The right fielder Jack Dvorak now batting. Walked his first time up.
Now batting, number 8, Jack Dvorak.
And Everest now with another run 90 feet away. The pitch by Kramer. Breaking ball across for a called strike 1. By the way, make sure you join us on WOSQ tomorrow evening for Trajan Bogdanovich and his Wisconsin Sports on the Go, a trades program. 0-1 pitch. Curveball whacked down the right field line, just foul. 0-2. Trajan speaks about Wisconsin sports and interviews some celebrities from around the state on his program. Wisconsin Sports on the Go with Trade tomorrow, 7 p.m. on Sports Radio 92.3 FM, WOSQ. 0-2 pitch to Dvorak. Ground ball left side. The run will score. The ball gets away from Sadowska. All hands are safe, and Everest now leads 4-0. Has an error on the shortstop, Jacob Sadowska. Tigers' second error today. However, that run as of right now is earned because Lewis would have scored on that play. The ball was hit to deep short. And no chance that Sadowska would have fielded that ball cleanly and thrown him out. So Lewis is in, a run is in. Dvorak does get an RBI in the play. And Everest leads 4-0. First baseman Aiden Haupt batting. First pitch low and outside for ball 1. Now Everest 4, Marshfield nothing. Evergreen's batting, top of the third. Base runner at first base and 1 out. Haupt RBI base hit, his first time up. The pitch by Kramer breaks in the dirt for a ball. Toss to first base is late by the catcher Mason Anderson. Count on Haupt now 1 ball, 1 strike. So that run is an earned run. However, if Dvorak were to score, his run would be unearned. Kramer throws 1-1, got the inside corner for a called strike. Ball and 2 strikes. Dvorak, the number 5 man in the Everest batting order today. Digs in once again. Or Haupt digs in once again. Kramer throws. Pop foul on the first base side of the play. Still 1-2 now on Aiden Haupt. DC Everest now with 4 hits today. Plus Kramer has walked 2 men. Haupt digs in there once more. Dvorak leads at first base, held by Caleb Schaefer. Kramer will check him. And the pitch to Haupt. High fly ball to left field. Boogaard drifts back, now gets there, and makes the catch for the out. And Dvorak back to first base. 2 men down. And the second baseman, Logan George, standing in for DC Everest. George struck out his first time up. He is 0 for 1. George, the number 7 man for Coach Langben today. Kramer again from the stretch. Gets set and delivers and hits him in the back. George hit by the pitch. Sends Dvorak to second base. And the Everest batter now, left fielder Brendan Hochberger. He reached base in an error his first time up. 0 for 1.
George is hit by a pitch, and that brings up number 6, Brendan Hochberger.
A lot of base runners for DC Everest this afternoon. Hochberger digs in, and the pitch by Kramer. Breaking ball across for a call and strike 1. Everest now leads 4-0 as they bat top of the third. 2 out, 2 on. 0-1 pitch to Hochberger. Another curveball, rides high for a ball, 1-1. Kramer usually throws that curveball in the strike zone very effectively. Don't see too many high school guys who have that kind of control over a breaking ball. But Kramer does that pretty well. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Line foul on the first base side over the Everest dugout. Count to Hochberger, now 1 ball, 2 strikes. Kramer trying to pitch out of a bit of a jam here in the Everest third inning. Hochberger stands back in there. Kramer working from the stretch once again. Now fires in the dirt for a ball. 2-2. Kramer now over 60 pitches and only in the third inning. So he may not last very long today. Remember that pitch count. That pitch limit is 100 pitches for a starting pitcher. 2-2 on Hochberger. Kramer fires a curveball. That's whacked to right field. Tyler Cum comes in, makes the catch to end the inning. In the third for DC Everest, 2 runs, both earned on 1 hit, 1 error, 1 walk, 1 hit batter, and 2 men left on base. Now after 2.5 innings of play, our score is DC Everest 4, Marshfield nothing. Back with more baseball following these messages.
Is your business, church, or organization getting a fair deal on your copier contracts? Do you even know how much you're spending? Bauer & Fine Business Technologies has been in the office technology industry for 70 years. We have an award-winning service department, and customers love our fair and flexible service contracts. If you're currently a customer, thank you. If you currently work with one of our competitors, let's talk. We can tell you if you're overpaying or getting a good deal. BBT, we want to be the easiest vendor you work with. b-bt.com.
From humble beginnings in 1904, the Wheatrick family has grown Grassland Dairy Products into one of the largest processors of butter in the nation. Based in Greenwood, Wisconsin, the family and its hundreds of employees continue their pursuit of providing high-quality products that can proudly be served in restaurants and homes across America.
Following Wisconsin Valley Conference baseball today, Marshfield and DC Everest here at Jack Hackman Field in Marshfield. Everest now up by 4 as Marshfield bats in the bottom half of the third inning. 9-1 and 2 men due up for the Tigers here in the third inning. Leadoff man is left fielder Dayton Bugar, batting for the first time today. Right-hander Cole O'Brien on the mound for DC Everest has allowed just 1 hit and struck out 5 in the first 2 innings. O'Brien working from the stretch. Fires a curveball up and in for ball 1. DC Everest on top 4-0. Marshfield batting bottom half of the third. 1 ball, no strikes on Dayton Bugar. Here's the pitch. Low and inside for ball, 2-0. O'Brien has walked 1 man, but struck out 5 in the first 2 innings. He's behind here, 2-0. Bugar stands back in, open stance. Pitch on the way, that's lined back to center field for a base hit. Bugar lines that ball right through the box for a solid single. And Marshfield has a leadoff base runner here in the third inning.
Bugar singles, bringing up number 3, Jacob Sadowski.
Leadoff man Jacob Sadowski batting for Marshfield. Called on strikes his first time up. Jacob 0 for 1 on the day. Towed southward with some signs at third base. Jacob batting left-handed. O'Brien gets set and now delivers a curveball to the screen over everybody's head. A wild pitch will send Bugar to second base. 1 ball, no strikes now on Jacob Sadowski. Tigers did have a man to third base in the first, but could not score. Now Bugar at second base with nobody out here in the third inning. 1 ball, no strikes on Jacob Sadowski. O'Brien getting that sign from Cole Van Slyke. Now he gets set and throws once again. High fly ball in the gap in left center field, and that'll get by the center fielder Rohde and go to the warning track. Bugar will score. Sadowski running second base, going to third base, and he'll get there safely. Run-scoring triple for Jacob Sadowski. And Marshfield now trails 4-1. Jacob goes the opposite way and hits that ball by the center fielder Rohde to deep left center field. Tigers have their first run. They now trail by 3. The batter is third baseman Chase Robinson, who walked his first time up. Chase batting right-handed. O'Brien on the mound, taking his time, now gets set. And the pitch to Robinson. Low and outside, blocked nicely by the catcher Van Slyke. That's ball 1. So it's now Marshfield trailing DC Everest 4-1. Tigers batting in the bottom half of the third. With Sadowski at third base and still nobody out. 1 ball, no strikes on Chase Robinson. O'Brien ready and fires on the inside corner for a called strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. We've commented today about the outfielders being rather shallow today. despite the fact that wind is blowing out. Good example of that strategy right there. Now O'Brien fires. Breaking ball across. Nice pitch by O'Brien. Curveball gets the inside corner. He's ahead 1-2. As Sadowski hit that ball a long way to the gap in left center field for extra bases. Ball and 2 strikes on Chase Robinson. Stands back in there. O'Brien shaking off Van Slyke. Now gets set. And he delivers once again a big swing and a miss. Robinson a strikeout victim. The 6th today for Cole O'Brien. 1 down. Owen Griesbach now batting for the Tigers. Owen doubled his first time up. So he is 1 for 1 on the day. Owen batting right-handed. O'Brien gets set and throws a curveball that breaks across for a called strike 1. Some other baseball games around central Wisconsin today. Columbus and Spencer meeting at Spencer this afternoon. That ball game now underway at Spencer High School. 0-1 on Owen Griesbach. And O'Brien delivers. Curveball in there for a called strike 2. Each pitcher today throwing very effective breaking balls. Getting that curveball in the strike zone, that's a big help to any pitcher. No balls, 2 strikes on Owen Griesbach. O'Brien once again gets his side. Checks the base runner. And now fires. And just missed outside for ball 1-2. Also today, Auburndale at Assumption. Stratford at Newman. Marathon at Edgar. Greenwood at Loyal. Rib Lake at Athens. Thorpe Owen Withy at Neilsville Granton. That game now underway on 92.7 FM WPKG. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Ball in the dirt, half swing. And our plate umpire asked for an appeal. And John Klausnister says no, Owen did not swing. So count on Griesbach now 2-2. Stanley Boyd at Owen at Bloomer today. Fall Creek at Cadott. Prentice at Phillips. Wisconsin Rapids at Wausau East. Merrill at Stevens Point. Tomahawk at Wausau West. 2-2 on Owen Griesbach. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball high for ball. The count full 3-2. Also today, Rhinelander at Adams Friendship. And Three Lakes Phillips at Northland Pines. I think that game was postponed today. So those of you on your way to Eagle River, too bad. No game up there today. 3-2 on Owen Griesbach. O'Brien again from the stretch. Sets and throws. Over for a called strike 3. Good fastball in the outside corner. And that's 7 strikeouts now for Cole O'Brien. Hitting next is Tiger catcher Mason Anderson, a strikeout victim his first time up, so he is 0 for 1.
The strikeout brings up number 22, Owen Griesbach.
Mason batting right-handed. Pitch on the way, popped foul on the first base side. The catcher, Van Slyke, may have a play and dives, but the ball falls in front of him. That's a play that the first baseman needs to take. That ball is hit down that first baseline about halfway. And a very challenging play for the catcher as that ball has so much backspin, it's spinning away from him. And the first baseman hopped, was late getting down the line and could not make the play. That would have been an easier play for him. The count on Anderson now, no balls and 1 strike. O'Brien back on the rubber. Sadowski still at third base now with 2 outs. O'Brien gets set and throws a curveball. Breaks a bit outside for ball. 1 ball, 1 strike. You're listening to Wisconsin Valley Conference Baseball on Sports Radio 92.3 FM, WOSQ, Spencer Marshfield, and WOSQFM.com and ZaleskiSports.com. The 1-1 to Mason Anderson. Over for a called strike 2. I'm Gene Delisio at Jack Hackman Field in Marshfield. Marshfield and DC Everest. Wisconsin Valley Conference Baseball today. Ball and 2 strikes on Mason Anderson, Marshfield's cleanup man today. Digs in once again. O'Brien shaking off Van Slyke again. Now gets a sign he likes. Sets himself and throws. And just missed the outside corner. The Everest infielders on their way to the dugout, but didn't get that call. 2 balls and 2 strikes now on Mason Anderson. Stands back in once again. O'Brien ready, but now Anderson steps out on him. Calls time. Tigers, so the base runner at third base, would like to get him in and cut that deficit down to 2. Now O'Brien ready once again and throws 2-2. A curveball breaks across for a called strike 3. Cole O'Brien now with 8 strikeouts today. In the third for Marshfield, 1 run on 2 hits. No errors, 1 man left on base. Our line score through 3 innings, DC Everest, 4 runs, 4 hits, no errors, and 4 men left on base. For Marshfield, 1 run, 3 hits, 2 errors, and they've left 3. We'll come back with more baseball from Jack Ackman Field following these messages.
Hi, I'm Josh Marks, owner of Infinity Exteriors. 9 out of 10 brand new roofs can't pass a simple manufacturer warranty inspection, meaning 9 out of 10 brand new roofs have no warranty. Infinity operates on principles instilled in my Marine Corps service: honor, courage, and commitment. Infinity is meticulous craftsmanship, unbeatable quality, and always at the best price. Infinity buys more, pays less, passing those savings directly to you. We're booking new roofs, siding, and windows. Call today.
Culligan Water delivers. From your first call, to your first sip, to your first soak. Culligan, give us a tap. The only water that comes with a van.
Scotty's Pizza and Chicken, how can I help you?
Scotty's Pizza and Chicken has been voted best pizza in Marshfield 16 years in a row. Scotty's Pizza and Chicken is ready for your call now. Choose drunken chicken, BLT, Western, mac and cheese, sweet chili chicken, and more. Plus, Scotty's has broasted chicken, fish sandwiches, salads, and desserts. Scotty's Pizza and Chicken, 715-384-8118 and scottyspizza.com.
Scotty's Pizza and Chicken, how can I help you?
In the top half of the 4th inning. Leadoff man is the number 9 hitter, shortstop George Jablonski. He sacrificed his first time up.
Leading off for Everest,
Tyler Kramer now has 67 pitches through 3 innings. Working from the stretch. Tyler throws a curveball. It's across for a called strike 1. It's Everest 4, Marshfield 1. Everest batting in the top half of the 4th here at Jack Ackman Field. 0-1 on George Jablonski. Kramer fires again. Fastball in the dirt. 1 ball, 1 strike. 9-1, 2 men due up for Everest here in the 4th inning. Kramer again from the stretch, and he fires a curveball high and outside for ball. 2-1. By the way, these teams both loaded on the bench today. Everest has 8 reserves on the bench, and Marshfield has 7. That's rather unusual for baseball. 2-1 pitch. That's line found to the screen. 2-2. JV game being played next door at Reese Field in the 4th inning. Everest leads 7-0. We see lots of baseball games during the course of the high school season where a team has 1 guy, 2 guys on the bench. That's about it. 2-2 pitch curveball, and he fights it off and fouls it back. That ball came way up and in, and Jablonski kind of swung in self-defense and punched that ball back to the screen, foul. Count stays 2 balls and 2 strikes. Kramer now over 70 pitches today. He gets set and delivers once again. Breaking ball low and outside for ball. Count full 3-2. Quite often during the summer season, we're doing the Legion or the Chaparrals, and team comes in with nobody on the bench. This ball fouled back again. Stays 3-2 on Jablonski. But both of these ball clubs well equipped with reserves for this ball game today. 3 balls and 2 strikes on George Jablonski. Kramer gets set and throws way inside for ball 4. That may hit him anyway. I think he got the hit sign. Jablonski hit by the pitch would have been either a hit batter or ball 4. But the difference is that once that ball hits the batter, play is stopped. The play is dead.
Jablonski's hit by a pitch.
And so Jablonski reaches first base the second time that Kramer has hit a batter today. Leadoff man Carter Miller now batting. He has doubled and scored and struck out today. 1 for 2. Kramer throws and Miller shows bunt but takes the pitch low and outside for ball 1. Kramer now has hit 2. He's walked 2. Everest has just 4 hits in the ball game, but they've had their share of base runners this afternoon. Toss to first base, and Jablonski dives in just ahead of that tag from Caleb Schaefer. Miller back in there, 1 ball, no strikes. Kramer once again gets set, and again to first base, and again Jablonski dives in safely. Again, a close play, but the tag by Caleb Schaefer just a bit late. One 1-0 on Carter Miller. Kramer throws. Here's a bunt attempt, but he takes over for a called strike. Miller square, but took the pitch. Called strike. The count now 1-1. Jablonski at first base widens his lead, held there by Caleb Schaefer. He shows bunt again. Bunts in front of home plate, picked up by Kramer. Goes to first base in time for the out. And Jablonski takes second base on the sacrifice. With 1 out, the center fielder Ty Rohde batting for the Evergreens. Rohde on base twice today with a single and a walk. He's also scored 2 runs, has 1 RBI. Hitting left-handed.
Now batting for Everest, number 37, Ty Rohde.
Kramer sets himself and delivers. Ground ball on the first base side, but rolling foul for strike 1. Our score is DC Everest 4, Marshfield 1. Everest batting top of the 4th, runner at second base, and 1 out. No balls, 1 strike on Ty Rohde. Rohde, number 2 man in the Everest batting order today. Pitch by Kramer. Misses the outside corner for a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike. Well, we saw an updated list, by the way, of the winningest high school boys basketball coaches in Wisconsin. Lots of local names on that list this year. Next pitch by Kramer over for a called strike. 1-2. Number 1 on that list, Jerry Pettigrew, with 1,027 wins, primarily at Cuba City, although he coached briefly at Gratiot when Gratiot had a high school early in his career. Ball and 2 strikes on Ty Rohde. Kramer throws again. High fly ball to right center field. Griesbach in the gap, drifts over, makes the catch for the out. Jablonski will tag, and he'll take third base on the fly ball. Rohde flies to center field for out number 2. And the Evergreens now have a base runner at third base with 2 outs. For catcher Cole Van Slyke, he doubled and scored and drove in a run his last time up. That's also flied to left. Longtime Auburndale coach Tim Anderson, number 7 on that list, at 6:07. Kramer throws over for a call strike. 0-1 on Van Slyke. To think that Tim Anderson over 400 wins behind Jerry Pettigrew. Of course, Coach Anderson had a great career at Auburndale. But quite a gap there. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That's lined to second base. And off the glove of the second baseman, Vandenberg. A run comes home, and Everest now leads 5-1. And that's an error on Tiger second baseman Connor Vandenberg. That ball hit sharply, and one hopped him, but he was right there to make the play, but the ball skipped off his glove. Jablonski scores. That run is unearned. And Everest now on top 5-1, no RBI on the play.
Number 9, Nevin Poppy.
The batter is the third baseman, Nevin Poppy. Kramer goes to first base, and the runner is out. Van Slyke is picked off to end the inning. So DC Everest in the fourth. 1 run. It is unearned on no hits. 1 error, a hit batter, no one left on base. After 3.5 innings of play, our score now, DC Everest 5, Marshfield 1. Come back with more baseball in just a moment.
Take your valuable possessions from outdoors to indoors with help from ShedsDelivered.com. It's your one-stop shop for sheds, barns, cabins, garages, greenhouses, chicken coops, and hunting blinds, all crafted by skilled Amish artisans. Headquartered in Loyal, Rod and April make it easy. Just visit ShedsDelivered.com to design your perfect structure. With short lead times and free delivery and installation, Sheds Delivered is the smart choice for outdoor storage. That's ShedsDelivered.com. Go today.
Hiller's True Value in Marshfield, Central Wisconsin's Milwaukee Tool Destination Center. The tools you trust from the people you can depend on. Shop the store within a store and find what you're looking for.
That's what I was looking for. That's what I was looking for. Now that's what I was looking for.
Looks like you found what you're looking for.
We redesigned our store to offer the biggest selection of Milwaukee tools.
A selection so big you'll need a map to find your way out.
Hiller's True Value in Marshfield, Central Wisconsin's Milwaukee Tool Destination Center.
Coverage of high school baseball continuing today on WOSQ and ZaleskiSports.com. Marshfield Tigers come to bat, bottom half of the fourth, now trailing by 4 runs. Cole O'Brien awfully tough on the mound for Everest today. He's allowed 1 run on 3 hits, walked 1 and struck out 8 in the first 3 innings. That means only 1 Tiger batter has been retired with a ball that's been hit in play. A line drive to right field hit by Tyler Kramer back in the second inning. All other Tiger batters have been retired via strikeout. Caleb Schaefer leads off the Marshfield fourth. Caleb playing first base. Struck out his first time up. He is 0 for 1. O'Brien with 51 pitches through 3 innings. Schaefer, number 5, man in the Tiger batting order today. He stands in. O'Brien gets set and delivers. Over for a called strike 1. Our score, DC Everest 5, Marshfield 1. Marshfield batting bottom half of the 4th inning here at Jack Ackman Field. Count no balls, 1 strike. O'Brien fires once again. Curveball missed outside for a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike. 5, 6, 7 men due up for Marshfield here in the 4th inning. O'Brien stays in the stretch at all times. Fires again, low for a ball, 2-1. There is action in the Marshfield bullpen as Kramer now has thrown 84 pitches through 4 innings. So he may or may not come out for the 5th inning. Also, some guys getting loose behind the Everest bullpen as well. 2-1 on Caleb Schaefer. O'Brien sets and throws, low and outside for ball 3. O'Brien now at 55 pitches, so he has a ways to go before he hits that 100 pitch count. But Schaefer ahead on the count here, 3 balls, 1 strike. O'Brien ready once again and delivers. Outside, ball 4. Caleb Schaefer draws a walk, the second issued by O'Brien today. And Marshfield has a leadoff base runner. Second baseman Connor Vanderberg now batting. A strikeout victim back in the 2nd inning. He's 0 for 1.
Now batting for the
Vanderberg digs in. Schaefer leads at first base. O'Brien with a long look now delivers. A swing and a miss for strike 1. Everest, 2 in the 1st, 2 in the 3rd, 1 in the 4th. Marshfield 1 run in the 3rd inning. That's been our scoring so far today. 0-1 on Connor Vanderberg. O'Brien ready. Fires once again. Over for a called strike 2. No balls and 2 strikes. Cole O'Brien awfully tough on the mound for DC Everest today. Toss to first base, goes down the right field line, but not very far. And so Schaefer holds at first base. Had to dive back in on the pickoff try, and the time he got back up, first baseman Haupt had retrieved the baseball. So he's back at first base to count on Vandenberg, 0-2. O'Brien ready once again. Takes a long look at first base. Now throws, low and outside for a ball. 1-2. Wind still blowing pretty briskly. It looks like it's changed somewhat. But still basically from the northwest, about 20 miles an hour. Makes the conditions rather cool out here today. 1-2 on Vandenberg. And O'Brien fires again. A curveball goes through the catcher. Van Slyke to the screen. And Schaefer goes to second base. That's O'Brien's second wild pitch. That ball was low and in the dirt and bounces through Van Slyke. So Marshfield has a man in scoring position. The count on Vandenberg, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Scoring chance for the Tigers here. Vandenberg stands back in there. O'Brien taking a long time with that side. Now he steps off. The catcher, Van Slyke, may have changed the signal somewhat with a base runner at second base. O'Brien taking a long look now, gets them. And now throws 2-2. And missed the inside corner with a fastball. And the count full, 3-2. Tigers looking for base runners, down by 4 here in the 4th inning. 3-2 on Connor Vandenberg. O'Brien ready once again, and now Vandenberg steps out. O'Brien kind of slowing down here as we get to the middle innings. Now has his sign. And here's the full count pitch. Golfed on the third base side, rolling foul. Count on Vandenberg stays full at 3-2. Tigers down by 4, men at second base here with nobody out in the 4th inning. 3-2 on Connor Vandenberg. O'Brien a long look at second base. And now delivers. Over for a called strike 3. Good pitch, and Vandenberg takes it. O'Brien now has struck out 9 today. Stepping in next, the pitcher Tyler Kramer.
The strikeout brings up number 20, Tyler.
Tyler lined to right field his first time up, 0 for 1. Once again, O'Brien really slowing down here. Now gets his sign and delivers. A swing and a miss for strike 1. Everest leads this ball game 5-1. Marshfield batting bottom half of the 4th. Caleb Schaefer at second base with 1 out. No balls, 1 strike on Tyler Kramer. Cole O'Brien throwing for DC Everest today. He'll check Schaefer down there at second base. Now the 0-1 pitch breaks low and blocked nicely by Van Slyke. The count now 1-1. Talking about that career wins list by boys basketball coaches. Jerry Pettigrew at 1,027. Tim Anderson 7th at 607. Number 9 is Bill Ullman, the longtime Regis coach, who also coached at Cadata and Mondovi, at 590. 1-1 pitch on the way, low for a ball, 2-1. Harold Mulhern from Osseo Fairchild, McDonald and Duran, number 10, at 568 on that boys basketball coaches wins list. 2-1 on Tyler Kramer. O'Brien checking Schaefer at second base. And now delivers. Over for call strike, 2-2. Tony Fiore, you may remember Tony, coached at Regis for a while. then Rhinelander, and it had good success at Crivets, number 16 at 541. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Tyler Kramer. Now Brian ready. And he fires once again. And just missed the outside corner for ball 3. Longtime Lakeland coach Ted Voigt, number 18 on that list, at 538. Former Thorpe coach, the late Jack Tetzner, number 21, at 525. 3-2 on Tyler Kramer. O'Brien now throws once again, lined at the third baseman, knocked down by the third baseman Poppy, gets up, throws to first base in time. That ball hit on a line, and Poppy got a glove on it, knocked it down. Was able to look Schaefer back to second base, and then throw out Kramer for the second out. So Schaefer still at second base now with 2 outs for right fielder Tyler Cum, who struck out his first time up. Cum digs in, batting left-handed. O'Brien now ready, and Cum steps out on him. Kaukauna coach Mike Shallow, who is a Marshfield native, number 40 on that coach's wins list at 482. Like at Kaukauna for many years now. O'Brien gets set and throws over at the knees for call strike 1. Andy Banasic, who began his coaching career at Columbus back in the 90s, then went back to Prairie du Chien, as coach there for many years, number 56 at 434. And current Dons coach Joe Konieczny now at number 58 at 419 for his career. Here's the 0-1 pitch, high fly ball left side, hitting foul, and the play. 0-2 on Tyler Cum. So the winningest boys basketball coaches, Wisconsin high school history, good list there. By the way, number 3 on that list is Randy Storley at Blair Taylor. He is still active at 665. Only 3 behind number 2, John Murphy, the former Seymour and Kimberly coach. 0-2 on Tyler Cum. Pitch on the way, line to third base, and grabbed by Poppy to end the inning. Hot smash, but right at third baseman Nevin Poppy, and that retires the side. In the 4th for Marshfield, no runs, no hits, no errors, a walk, and 1 left. We've now finished 4 innings, and our score is DC Everest 5 and the Marshfield Tigers 1. Back to Jack Hackman Field and more baseball in just a moment.
High school sports coverage is brought to you by Country Wireless, high-speed internet.
At House of Heating, making your home comfortable is our biggest priority. That's why we offer dependable HVAC solutions and quality work in central Wisconsin. Our pros are knowledgeable in a wide variety of services so you can feel confident in your results. They'll offer the support you need, whether it's putting in a modern HVAC system or working on and maintaining your current unit. Get in touch with House of Heating at 715-384-3163 or contact houseofheating.com. House of Heating, heating and cooling the air you breathe.
The doctor basically said, you're going to be in a wheelchair and walking with a walker. And I'm like, what? I'm like, that's my life? That's my life story? I looked around on the internet and I found Shai at Next Step Prosthetics. And I came in and met with him, and I felt so comfortable here, so unfearful. He said, we're going to get you up and walking.
Call to set up a free, no obligation evaluation. Next Step Prosthetics, the fit for you.
ZaleskiSports.com. Marshfield and DC Everest matched up today here at Jack Hackman Field in Marshfield. Everest batting in the top half of the 5th. Now Tyler Kramer, the Tiger starter, still out there. He's thrown 84 pitches today, so he may have to be removed at some point during this inning. Third baseman Nevin Poppy leads off the Everest 5th. Poppy has struck out and bounced to third. He's 0 for 2. First pitch from Kramer, across for a called strike 1. DC Everest 5, Marshfield 1. Evergreen's batting top half of the 5th here at Jack Hackman Field. 0-1 pitch on the way. Breaking ball low and inside for a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike. Everest has scored 2 in the 1st, 2 in the 3rd, 1 in the 4th. Pitch by Kramer. Breaking ball is across for a call strike. 1-2. Marshfield scored its single run back in the 3rd inning. Poppy, the cleanup man for DC Everest today, stands back in there. Kramer is set and fires again. Chopper on the third base side. It will roll along the foul line. Robinson lets it roll, and it does roll into foul ground. Chase had no chance to throw on Poppy on that slow roller. So he wisely let that ball roll along the foul line. Eventually it did cross into foul ground, and then he picked it up. So Poppy comes back to count still 1 ball and 2 strikes. Kramer stays in the stretch position and delivers a curveball high for ball 2-2. Niven Poppy, cleanup man, tall, right-handed batter. Kramer gets set and delivers. Ground ball towards second base. Picked up by Vandenberg, throws to first base in time for the out. 1 down in the Evergreens' 5th. And the next batter, right fielder Jack Dvorak. He has walked and reached base on an error. 0 for 1 with an RBI today.
Poppy grounds out, bringing up number 8, Jack Dvorak.
Dvorak batting right-handed. Here's the pitch by Kramer. Ground ball third base side. Behind the bag, it gets by Robinson to the left field corner. Dvorak with a wide turn to first base. He'll hold his ground there. Singled on the left field foul line for Jack Dvorak. That's ruled a hit. And the 5th hit for DC Everest today. Evergreens have a one-out base runner for first baseman Aiden Haupt. Haupt has singled and flied to left, 1 for 2 with an RBI today. Kramer stays in the stretch and delivers outside for ball 1. DC Everest on top, 5-1. Evergreens batting in the top of the 5th, 1 out, 1 on. 0-1 on Aiden Haupt. Evergreen's first baseman today. Number 6 hitter. And the pitch by Tyler Kramer. Across for a call strike, 0-2. You're listening to Wisconsin Valley Conference Baseball on Sports Radio 92.3 FM, WOSQ, Spencer, Marshfield, and WOSQFM.com, as well as ZaleskiSports.com. 0-2 pitch, ground ball right side, and through the hole for a base hit. Dvorak rounding second base. Now, lately goes to third. He took his time, but then the right fielder overran the ball anyway, so Dvorak gets to third base on that base hit by Aiden Haupt. And Everest now with base runners at first and third, only 1 out. And second baseman Logan George, the batter. George has struck out today, hit by a pitch. He's 0 for 1. So DC Everest has a scoring chance here in the 5th inning.
Logan George.
George stands in, batting right-handed. Kramer from the stretch. Sets and throws. Low and inside, bounds away from the catcher. And Haupt goes from first to second base on the wild pitch. Dvorak at third base holds his ground. The count on George now 1-0, and Everest has 2 men in scoring position. So a good scoring chance here for the Evergreens. Infield now comes in for Marshfield. 1-0 on Logan George. Kramer throws a breaking ball across for a call strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. On this date back in 1958, the first Major League Baseball game played in San Francisco. Here's the 1-1 delivery. Curveball line to center field for a base hit. Dvorak is in. Haupt running third base. He'll get the green light, and he'll come home as well. 2-run single for Logan George, and Everest now leads 7-1. Big base hit for Logan George of DC Everest. Has 2-run score on that play.
The single plates 2 runs and brings up number 6, Brennan Hochberger.
Coach John Southworth now heading out. We could have a pitching change here, as Tyler Kramer is close to his pitching limit anyway. He's now at 97 pitches. So he could pitch to one more batter. But he'll be relieved, and Marshfield will have a new pitcher. First game in San Francisco today in 1958. The Giants beat the Dodgers 8-0. As Giants pitcher Ruben Gomez tossed a shutout in that ball game. And shortstop Darrell Spencer hit the first home run on the West Coast. That ball game played, by the way, at Seals Stadium, the old minor league ballpark in downtown San Francisco.
Number 3, Jacob Sadowska.
Jacob Sadowska comes in to pitch for Marshfield, going from shortstop to the mound. Tyler Kramer today goes 4 1/3 innings, 6 earned on 7 hits. Walked 2, struck out 2, also hit 2, and threw 2 wild pitches. And he'll be replaced by Tiger shortstop Jacob Sadowska. And we'll see who the Tigers bring in to play that shortstop position. It might be Kramer. Everest now on top 7-1, looking for more as they bat here in the 5th inning. 2 runs are in, base runner at first base. Still only 1 out. Seal Stadium in San Francisco, beautiful little ballpark right downtown there before Candlestick Park was built. Looks like Connor Vandenberg will go from second to short, and Kramer will take over at second base. Brendan Hochberger, the batter for DC Everest. First pitch from Sadowska across the knees for called strike 1. So Vandenberg now at shortstop for Marshfield, and Kramer playing second base. 0-1 on Brendan Hochberger. Sadowska fires in the dirt for a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike. DC Everest on top 7-1. Evergreens batting top of the 5th. Runner at first base and 1 out. 2 runs are in. We're at Jack Ackman Field in Marshfield. Happy to have you with us for our broadcast today. 1 delivery, runner going. Pitch over for Hochberger. 2 balls and 2 strikes. So the Evergreens looking to pad their lead here in the 5th inning. 2 runs already in. They've scored, by the way, in every inning except the 2nd today. Sadowska ready. 2-2 pitch. Ground ball toward shortstop. Vandenberg will charge, pick it up, throw to first base in time for the out. Now that ball had not hit very hard, and so George at second base advanced in front of that play. 2 men down, and shortstop George Jablonski batting for DC Everest. Jablonski today 0 for 0. He has sacrificed and been hit by a pitch and scored a run. Sadowska stays in the stretch. He delivers, a bit high for ball 1. Our score is DC Everest 7, Marshfield 1. Everest batting top of the 5th. Runner at third base and 2 outs. Pitch on the way, up and in for a ball, 2 balls, no strikes. Conference opener for both ball clubs today. Things going well for DC Everest. Here is the 2-0 delivery, fouled back. Count goes to 2-1. Nice crowd on hand. The wind still blowing rather briskly out to the north, from the north, about 20 miles an hour, so the conditions not the best for watching baseball today. Here is the 2-1 delivery. That's all the way to the screen, and a run will come home. That pitch way low and outside in the dirt. Wild pitch charge to Sadowska. Allows George to score, and Everest leads 8-1. That run is charged to Tyler Kramer. Miller stands in. Sadowska, a right-hander. Looks at that base runner and now throws. A curveball hits him in the back. Miller hit by a pitch. The third Everest man hit by a pitch today. And the Evergreens have 2 men on base with 2 outs for center fielder Ty Rohde. Rohde has singled home run and scored, walked and scored, fly to center. 1 for 2 with an RBI. 7 hits for DC Everest today. 2 of them doubles. Sadowska ready. He throws. Line to center field. Griesbach comes on, makes the catch. Hit hard, but right at Owen Griesbach to retire the side. DC Everest in the 5th. 3 runs on 3 hits. No errors. A walk, a hit batter. 2 men left on base. We've now played 4.5 innings, and our score is DC Everest 8 and Marshfield 1. Back to Jack Hackman Field and more baseball following these messages.
Little Sprouts Learning Garden with 2 convenient central Wisconsin locations. Here's Brooke Sievers to tell us about it.
Little Sprouts has been around for almost 7 years here in Auburndale. In Rudolph, we've been open for about 2.5. We serve here in Auburndale. We have 6 weeks old up until 12-year-olds. And then in Rudolph, we have 1-year-olds up until 12-year-olds. The biggest thing that we do with them is we have play-based learning so that they learn through play with each other. And social skills are a huge part of what we do with them.
Find Little Sprouts Learning Garden on Facebook today.
Nuts Deep 2, a Marshfield favorite for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Soup, salad, pizza, omelets, sandwiches, wraps, and burgers. How about appetizers like loaded tots and super nuts nachos? 14 large TVs to watch all your favorite games. Plus, entertainment and a base for groups large and small for your upcoming parties. Nuts Deep 2 again, awarded Best Burgers and Fish Fry in Marshfield.
On Sports Radio 92.3 FM, WOSQ, and WOSQFM.com, as well as ZaleskiSports.com. Marshfield and DC Everest meeting in this matchup today. Conference opener for both ball clubs. Everest now leads by 7 as Marshfield bats in the 5th inning. Cole O'Brien has thrown 72 pitches for Everest through 4 innings. Still has a ways to go before he'll have to be relieved. First man he'll face in the Tiger 5th. Left fielder Dayton Bugar singled and scored Marshfield's only run back in the 3rd inning.
Leading off for the Tigers, number 13, Dayton Bugar.
Dayton stands in, batting right-handed, open stance. O'Brien stays in the stretch and throws a swing and a miss for strike 1. DC Everest on top, 8-1. Marshfield batting, bottom half of the 5th here at Jack Hackman Field. O'Brien set once again and now delivers. Popped up into shallow center field, but playable for Ty Rohde. Drifts back now, and ball goes over his head. And Bugar heading towards second base. He'll get there safely. Ty Rohde in center field having a difficult time with that fly ball, perhaps because of the rather strong winds we have today. Looked like he had it lined up, and then the ball fell behind him for extra bases. That's the 4th Marshfield hit today. And 3 of those hits have been extra base hits.
And that brings up number
So leadoff double for Dayton Bugar, and Jacob Sadowska now pitching for Marshfield stands in. Jacob tripled home Bugar his last time up back in the 3rd inning. O'Brien gets set and throws. Ground ball towards shortstop, picked up by Jablonski. Looks the man back, throws high to first base, and the first baseman Hop comes off the bag to field it, and so Sadowska will reach. A high throw, and Hop had to go up in the Sadowska crosses the base. DC Everest today. Third baseman Chase Robinson now batting. He struck out and walked today, 0 for 1. So Marshfield has base runners at first and second to open this Tiger fifth inning. O'Brien from the stretch. And the pitch to Robinson. Popped up into shallow right field. Jack Dvorak drifting back. Gets there. He'll make the catch for the out. Bugar will tag, advance to third base. Robinson flies out for out number one. Bugar takes third base on the play. And Sadowska holds at first. Tiger batter now is the center fielder Owen Griesbach, who has doubled and struck out today.
Bugar to third and brings up number 22, Owen Griesbach.
Owen, the number 3 man in the Tiger batting order today. O'Brien Gillespie Sports.com, brought to us by McDonald's of Marshfield. 0-1 on Owen Griesbach. O'Brien sets and throws high for a ball. The runner goes at first base, no throw. Sadowska will steal second base unopposed. And Bugar holds at third. The count on Griesbach now 1-1 with two teammates in scoring position. Infield stays back with a 7-run lead for DC Everest. Griesbach steps out. O'Brien seems to really slow down once he has base runners. So taking his time out here. Griesbach back in the box. Now O'Brien gets a sign he likes. And here is the 1-1 delivery. Missed inside for ball, 2-1. Get exclusive deals on your McDonald's favorites in the app. Contactless order and pickup at McDonald's on North Central Avenue in Marshfield. 2-1 on Owen Griesbach with 2 men in scoring position for Marshfield here in the fifth inning. O'Brien ready once again. He fires. Ground ball towards shortstop. A run will score. Picked up by Jablonski. Throws to first base in time for the out. Nicely done by George Jablonski at shortstop. That was a slow roller. Had to charge, scoop, and make the throw to first base to retire Griesbach for out number 2. On the play, Bugar scores from third base.
The ground out brings in a run and brings up number 7.
And Sadowska moves over to third. 2 men down. Catcher Mason Anderson now batting. He has struck out twice today, 0 for 2. O'Brien stays in the stretch. He now throws. Popped up on the first base side in foul ground. The catcher Van Slyke comes over and dives, but can't make the play. Falls out of reach for strike 1. Well, you can see above the right field grandstand, the shortstop, third baseman, and left fielder all have their gloves up in front of their eyes to shield that sun on the first base side. Count on Mason Anderson now, no balls in 1 strike. O'Brien looks in, gets his sign. And now delivers. Ground ball towards short. Jablonski will boot it, pick it back up, and throw quickly to first base, but late. A run comes home, and Marshfield now trails 8-3. Sadowska scores on the play. That's the second error by Jablonski in this inning. First a throwing error, now he boots that ground ball. No RBI on the play. Anderson reaches.
And that brings in a run.
And Marshfield trails 8-3.
Batter for the Tigers is number 10,
Caleb Schaefer batting. He has walked and struck out today. We'll have a courtesy runner for Anderson. Easton Ledden will run for Anderson.
Pitch running is number 12, Easton Ledden.
Easton Ledden, the courtesy runner for the catcher, Mason Anderson. So no runs earned this inning for Marshfield thanks to 2 Everest errors. Schaefer digs in. O'Brien still in the stretch. Gets set and throws. A swing and a miss for strike 1. It's now DC Everest 8, Marshfield 3. Tigers batting bottom half of the 5th. Runner at first base And 2 outs. 0-1 on Caleb Schaefer. O'Brien back in the stretch once again. He now delivers high for a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike. Tigers trying to climb back into it. They've trailed the entire ball game today. 1-1 pitch on the way. Over for call strike 2. Even our takes his time here. Takes a lot of time. Now throws 1-2. Bet high for a ball, 2-2. He really does slow down with men on base. Down on Schaefer, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Easton led in the courtesy runner at first base for Marshfield. Easton runs well, gets a good lead down there. O'Brien now fires again, low and outside into the screen, and Ledden takes third base, or second base rather. Wild pitch charge to O'Brien. Ledden takes second base to count on Schaefer, 3-2. So a base hit here could score yet another run. Schaefer back in there, 3 balls, 2 strikes. Now O'Brien sets himself and steps off. O'Brien now approaching 90 pitches for the day. So still under that 100 pitch limit. Taking his time once again. Now comes back to the belt. And the 3-2 pitch on the way. A swing and a miss to end the inning. O'Brien now has fanned 9 in this ball game today. Marshfield in the 5th. 2 runs, both unearned, on 1 hit, 2 errors, 1 man left on base. We played 5 innings, and our score is DC Everest 8 and Marshfield 3. We'll come back to Jack Hackman Field and more baseball following these messages.
2 runs on 2 hits.
Join the Gross family of satisfied customers at Gross.
High school sports coverage is brought to you by Sport Choices 114.
Join the Gross family of satisfied customers delivered to Marshfield for your convenience. You'll love their people and state-of-the-art service department, where service guests get a free courtesy car. Top it all off with the Gross lifetime engine warranty on most vehicles.
Hearing about checking account features? So are we. It's more about what you can do with your money to live the life you want. Forward Bank puts your access to everything you need in the palm of your hand. Mobile deposit, recurring digital payments, transfer funds, or pay a friend easily. Yes, our checking is free and includes all that you would expect. It's supported by your neighbors and friends at Forward, dedicated to serving our communities. Open online today at forward.bank.
DC Everest batting, top of the 6th with a 5-run lead.
Batting taken over at first for the Tigers, and the score is 8-3. Check on that error before.
Leadoff man for Everest here in the 6th. The catcher, Cole Van Slyke. First pitch outside, ball 1. It's Everest 8, Marshfield 3. Everest batting, top half of the 6th here at Jack Hackman Field. 1 ball, no strikes on Cole Van Slyke. Sadowska throws outside for ball 2-0. Van Slyke has flied to left, doubled and scored, and reached base on an error. 1 for 3 on the day. Pitch on the way. Across for a called strike, 2-1. Looks like Bryce Shoddy now playing first base for the Tigers. Sadowska throws low and outside for a ball, 3-1. Bryce Shoddy now at first base for Marshfield. 3 balls, 1 strike on Cole Van Slyke, number 3 man. The Everest batting order, leading off the Evergreen 6th this afternoon. Sadowska winds and throws once again. Fly ball to left field down the line. A long run for Bugar. Gets there, dives, and looks like he makes the catch. Well done by Dayton Bugar in left field. Van Slyke batting left-handed, hit that ball the opposite way. And so one man down to the Everest sixth. And third baseman Nevin Poppy batting. He's 0 for 3. He struck out, bounced to third, bounced to second. Sadowska winds and throws, low and outside, ball 1. Coming up on Thursday on ZaleskiSports.com, Marshfield plays at DC Everest. Game time 5 p.m. on ZaleskiSports.com. 1-0 pitch up and in for a ball, 2-0. Other baseball games on Zaleski Sports on Thursday. Newman at Stratford. Wausau East at Wisconsin Rapids. Next pitch up and in as well for a ball, 3-0. Softball action Thursday. Blair Taylor at Loyal Greenwood. Edgar at Marathon. Wausau West at Marshfield. Northland Pines at Mosinee. There's a pitch over for a called strike, 3-1 on Poppy. Stevens Point at Wausau East. The 3-1 delivery, a swing and a miss, 3-2. All that coming your way Thursday on ZaleskiSports.com. Count on Nevin Poppy is full, 3-2. He now steps out on Sadowska. Jacob on the relief of Tyler Kramer, who was the Marshfield starter tonight. Once again, 3-2. Here's the pitch on the way. Down low for ball 4. And DC Everest has a 1-out base runner here in the 6th inning. The right fielder Jack Dvorak now batting. Dvorak on base 3 times today with a walk, an error, and a single. 1 for 2 with a run scored and a run batted in.
Jack Dvorak.
Sadowska checking the base runner. That's Poppy at first base. Wide lead over there. Jacob ready. Now delivers. Ground ball to third. Picked up by Robinson. Goes to Kramer for 1 on to first base for the double play. Tigers turn a 5-4-3 double play. Robinson to Kramer to Shoddy. And that ends the DC Everest 6th. Evergreens get no runs on no hits, no errors, a walk, no one left on base. After 5.5 innings of baseball, our score is DC Everest 8, Marshfield 3. Back with more baseball following these messages.
Have you outgrown your old furniture? Well, I can relate. Then get into Mall Furniture today. We are never short on inventory, and we are never short on bringing you great deals. Living rooms, bedrooms, dining rooms, mattresses, recliners, lift chairs, and big clearance recliners. Head to Mall, because we got them all.
Mall Furniture and Mattress, West 9th Street, Marshfield.
Welcome to Bruce Orthodontics, where we provide comprehensive orthodontic care to patients of all ages. We are now accepting new patients, and we accept most insurances.
Orthodontics is much more than a job to me. For myself and my staff, compassion and dedication. Here at Bruce Orthodontics, we change lives one smile at a time. I'd love the opportunity to meet you and transform your smile.
Call us to set up your free consultation today.
DC Everest will change pitchers for the 6th inning. J.J. Lewis, a right-hander, now throwing for the Evergreens. Good outing for Cole O'Brien as he throws 5 innings today. Gave up 3 runs, only 1 earned on just 4 hits. Walked 2, struck out 9, and threw 3 wild pitches. And threw 88 pitches on the day. So both starters are now gone. Tall right-hander J.J. Lewis now throwing for DC Everest. First man he'll face in the Tigers' 6th inning is shortstop Connor Vandenberg, who has struck out twice today, 0 for 2. Marshfield and DC Everest baseball today.
Leading off for the Tigers, number 21, Connor Vandenberg.
Connor Vandenberg digs in, batting right-handed. Lewis into his motion. Winds and throws. Up and in for ball one. DC Everest on top, 8-3. Marshfield batting. Bottom half of the sixth there at Jack Hackman Field. On a cool but sunny day in central Wisconsin. Lewis now throws 1-0. On the inside corner, called strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. Our temperature remains 45 degrees. Wind still blowing pretty briskly, 18 miles an hour from the north-northwest. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Foul to the third base side. Ball and 2 strikes on Vandenberg, who began the ball game as Marshfield's second baseman, now stationed at shortstop after some defensive changes. Sets and throws a big curveball, hit in the air towards center field. The second baseman, George, goes out to make the play for out number 1. Vandenberg pops out for out number 1. Tyler Kramer now batting. Marshfield's starting pitcher now playing second base for the Tigers. Tyler has lined to right and bounced to third.
With 1 out, the batter is number 20, Tyler Kramer.
He's the only man in the Tiger batting order, aside from Bugar, who was not struck out today. Lewis winds and throws a curveball that breaks across for a called strike 1. Nice overhand curve there by J.J. Lewis. The count 0-1 on Tyler Kramer. Lewis gets set and delivers. Fastball over at the knees, a call, strike 2. Lewis also the first man we've seen pitch today who was pitched out of the windup, not using the stretch. Come batting left-handed. Kramer working with the stretch, goes to first base, and Kramer back in time. Still bright sunshine. Boy, last night that Columbus-Spencer game was awfully dark by 7 o'clock. When the lights finally came on about that hour. Lewis from the stretch. Sets and delivers. Swing and a miss for strike 1. DC Everest leads this ball game 8-3. Marshfield batting. Last half of the sixth, 1 out and 1 on. 0-1 on Tyler Cum. Good lead to first base by Kramer. Lewis looking at him. Goes to first base, and Tyler back in there safely. Tyler not taking too many chances. His ball club down by 5 here in the 6th inning. No balls, 1 strike the count on Tyler Cum. Stands back in there. Lewis gets set and throws. Popped up behind home plate. The catcher, Van Slyke, comes back but can't make the play. Ball hit near the backstop. Van Slyke ran out of room. Count on Cum now 0-2. And Kramer back to first base. Marshfield and DC Everest baseball today. Glad to have you with us for our broadcast this afternoon. Now going into this evening, past the 7 o'clock hour here in central Wisconsin. 0-2 on Tyler Cum. Lewis ready once again. Checks the base runner. And now delivers, but before the pitch, Cum asks for time. So no pitch there. No pitch, and come back in there. The count now 0-2. And Kramer dives in safely. Cum, the number 8 man in the Marshfield batting order today. Stands back in there once again. And the pitch by Lewis. Ground ball left side, right down the foul line, picked up by Poppy at third base. Fires across the diamond late. Now, it should be an infield hit for Tyler Cum. That ball hit right down the foul line, not hit very hard. And by the time Poppy fielded it and threw, he had no play.
Infield single puts runners at first and second for number
Runners at
13,
first and second
Dayton
with
Bogart.
only one out for Dayton Bugar. And Dayton, the number 9 man, has had a good day today. Singled, doubled, and scored twice. Stands back in there, right-handed batter. Number 9 man in the Tiger batting order today. Lewis from the stretch. Sets himself and throws a breaking ball high and outside for ball 1. Major League Baseball action Saturday on WOSQ as Kansas City takes on Detroit in Detroit. Our broadcast begins Saturday at 11:30 on Sports Radio 92.3 FM, WOSQ, and WOSQFM.com. Catcher Cole Van Slyke out for a quick word with his pitcher J.J. Lewis. Count on Bugar, 1 ball, no strikes. Runners edge off first and second. Lewis now from the stretch. Ready and delivers. Pop foul over the screen. 1 ball, 1 strike. Tigers down by 5, so a couple of base hits. They could get back in the ball game here. Evergreen's a bit concerned. 1 ball, 1 strike on Dayton Bugar. He stands in once again. Lewis again to the belt. Marshfield trails 8-4. Kramer scores on the play. And Cum will take third base as the left fielder Hochberger overran the ball. And that allows Bugar to take second base.
Number 3, Jacob Sadowska.
Now pitcher Jacob Sadowska batting. And Coach Langben calls time. Suddenly the Tigers back to within 4 runs. And threatening more here. Runners at second and third. Only 1 out, and the top of the batting order coming up for Marshfield. D.C. Everest with 2 in the first, 2 in the third, 1 in the fourth, 3 in the fifth. Tigers have scored 1 in the third, 2 in the fifth, now 1 more here in the 6th inning. And Marshfield could be back in the ball game. Tigers now down by 6th inning. Sadowska has struck out, tripled, homer run, and reached base on an error. 1 for 3 with a run scored and an RBI. Lewis will now work from the wind-up position. Taking his time. Now into his motion. He delivers. Outside, off the glove of the catcher. And Cum trying to score. The play at the plate is late. Passed ball allows Tyler Cum to score from third base. And Marshfield now trails 8-5. Bugar goes to third base on the play. The count on Sadowska, 1-0. Tigers now back to within 3. 1-0 on Sadowska. Lewis ready. Well, each team's bullpen being tested tonight. J.J. Lewis struggling here in his relief outing. He's behind Sadowska 3-0. Lewis winds, throws once again. Outside for ball 4. A 4-pitch walk. And there is some action now in the Everest bullpen. The batter is third baseman Chase Robinson. He's the tying run at the plate. Two runs are in. Tigers looking for more. Robinson has walked, struck out, flied to right. 0 for 2. Jay stands in, batting right-handed. Lewis working from the stretch. We'll go to first base, and Sadowska dives back in. Chase Robinson now the tying run at the plate. With 2 men on base, the shadows now covering the playing field. Lights are not on as of yet. Robinson digs in once again. Lewis gets set. Runner goes, pitch is swung and missed, and no throw. Sadowska steals second base, and the catcher, Van Slyke, bluffed to throw to third base to hold Bugar there. The count on Robinson, 0-1, with two teammates in scoring position. Robinson stands back in there. Lewis stays in the stretch here. Sets and fires. A curveball across for a called strike. The count on Robinson now 0-2. Base hit here could bring Marshfield back to within 1 run. They trailed by 7 a few moments ago. 0-2 on Chase Robinson. Lewis gets his sign, now goes back to the stretch. And delivers. Low and inside for a ball. 1-2. J.J. Lewis on the relief of Cole O'Brien, who pitched quite well the first 5 innings tonight for DC Everest. Robinson back in there once again. Behind 1 ball, 2 strikes. Lewis readies himself and delivers a curveball high and outside for a ball. 2-2. And Coach Langben now walking out of the dugout and walking back, now heading back out. And he wants time. 2-2 on Chase Robinson. And we'll have a conference here to discuss the situation from the Everest point of view. Marshfield has base runners at second and third, and 1 out here in the 6th. Everest leading by 3, 8-5. And so Robinson at the plate is the tying run. So a stressful position here for DC Everest. That conference breaks up. Coach Langben, longtime coach of the Everest baseball program, as was his father Dale for many years. Dave back to the dugout here. The count on Chase Robinson, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Chase digs in once again. Lewis working from the stretch. He now delivers. Popped foul on the first base side. Hop, the first baseman, comes over, has a play, and gloves it for the out. Runners hold their ground on that foul pop-up. That's out number 2. And Owen Griesbach now stands in for Marshfield. Owen has doubled, struck out, bounced to short. He's 1 for 3 today.
Robinson follows out, bringing up number 22, Owen Griesbach.
Still 2 men in scoring position with 2 outs. As Griesbach digs in. The catcher Van Slyke on the mound talking with Lewis about the situation here. J.J. Lewis on the relief of Cole O'Brien, who is the pitcher of record on the winning side for Everest, having tossed the first 5 innings tonight. Now Griesbach digs in. Lewis will work from the windup here. Lewis now ready. Winds and delivers. In the dirt for ball 1. Our score is Everest 8, Marshfield 5. Marshfield batting bottom half of the 6th. Runners at second and third and 2 out. 1 ball, no strikes on Owen Griesbach. Owen back in there. Lewis now into his motion and delivers. Popped up on the left side. And the third baseman, Poppy, gives way to the shortstop, Jablonski. He'll make the play to end the inning. Marshfield in the 6th, 2 runs on 3 hits. No errors, a walk, 2 men left on base. We head to the 7th inning with DC Everest leading Marshfield 8-5. And more baseball coming up in just a moment.
No errors and 2 left.
Is it time to replace your old gutters? Call Schwartz Seamless Gutters and protect your home with new seamless technology. No seams, no leaks. With free estimates in 2 days or less and workmanship guaranteed, our service is as seamless as our gutters.
The Sports Den, located on Marshfield's sunny south side since 1975. The Sports Den has the area's best selection of outdoor equipment. Find top brands of snowshoes, cross-country and downhill skis, snowboards, swimming equipment, skateboards, and more. The Sports Den has a full-service bike repair center along with top bike brands, Specialized, Trek, and others. The Sports Den is Central Wisconsin's Fat Bike headquarters. Visit the Sports Den in Marshfield Monday through Saturday and thesportsden.net.
Hey everybody, Nat over at Wheeler Chevrolet GMC, and I am standing in our all-new Express Lane. Open now, no appointment necessary. Stop on in and get things like oil changes, filters, quick lubes, no appointment necessary. See you soon.
Baseball action today here at Jack Hackman Field in Marshfield. Marshfield and DC Everest meeting in this Wisconsin Valley Conference opener. We head to the 7th inning with Everest up by 3. 6, 7, 8 batters due up for Everest here in the 7th inning. Leadoff man is the first baseman, Aiden Hopp. He has singled twice and flied to left. 2 for 3 with a run scored. Hopp now may be called back. He will be. And the batter for Everest will be Caden Allen. Caden Allen will bat for Hopp, a left-handed batter.
Now batting and leading off is number 30, Caden Allen.
Getting towards the dusk hour here. I do not believe the lights are on as of yet. Hard to tell sometime what the reflection. It looks like the lights are still off. Allen digs in against Jacob Sadowska. First pitch, bit inside for ball 1. DC Everest 8, Marshfield 5. Everest batting top half of the 7th here at Jack Hackman Field. Here's the 1-0 delivery. Breaks high for a ball, 2-0. Everest has led the entire ball games in scoring 2 in the first. Marshfield now back to within 3. 2-0 delivery, high and outside, ball 3. 3 balls, no strikes on Caden Allen, leading off the Everest 7th inning. Sadowska ready and throws over for a call strike. Count now 3-1. Both starting pitchers long gone today. And relievers handling the pitching duties at this point. Here is the 3-1 delivery. This is low and outside, ball 4. Everest has a leadoff base runner here in the 7th. And second baseman Logan George standing in. George has struck out, hit by a pitch, and singled. Hopp now will re-enter and run for himself at first base. George on the day, 1 for 2 with a run scored and 2 RBIs.
For Everest is number 7, Logan George.
George, a right-handed batter. Sadowska working from the stretch. He shows bunt, pitches outside. Sadowska did offer, or excuse me, George did offer, so it's a strike, but the ball gets away from the catcher, and Hopp takes second base on a wild pitch. 0-1 on George with Hopp now at second base. Pitch was outside. George offered the bunt, missed it, but the ball got away from the catcher Anderson to the screen. 0-1 on Logan George. Sadowska throws once again, high and outside for a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike. Everest by 3, looking to pad their lead here in the 7th inning. George back in there. Right-handed batter. And the pitch by Sadowska. Low and outside, bounds away, but not very far. Tracked down by Anderson. The count on George now 2 balls and 1 strike. Jacob Sadowska trying to keep Marshfield close. Tigers back to within 3 here in the 7th inning. George back in there, 2 balls, 1 strike. Pitch on the way, fouled back to the screen, and the count 2-2. Tigers in the 7th inning will have their 4, 5, and 6 men due up against DC Everest. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Logan George, stands in there once again. And now Sadowska steps off the rubber. Hop at second base, getting a good look at those signs, and so Jacob might be concerned about how the signs are being given to him by catcher Mason Anderson. Sets once again. And the 2-2 pitch on the way. Pot foul on the first base side of the play. Count stays 2-2. Long ball game today, 2 hours and 20 minutes as of right now. Two and two on Logan George. Batting right-handed, he steps back in there. Sadowska checks the base runner. And now delivers. Popped up in a shallow right field. Coming on quickly, gets there and makes the catch for the out. And Haupt holds at second base. George flies to right field. That's out number 1. And now another pinch hitter, Ryan Schultz, will bat. Heading for Hochberger, the left fielder. Ryan Schultz, the pinch hitter. Hochberger, the left fielder, has reached base on an error, flied to right and bounced to short, 0 for 3.
27, Ryan
But now
Schultz.
Ryan Schultz stands in as a pinch hitter for DC Everest. Schultz batting right-handed. Our home plate umpire, Mike Lindau, getting his name in the book. Schultz now digs in. Sadowska working from the stretch. Now gets set and delivers. Over for called, strike 1. Our score is DC Everest 8, Marshfield 5. Everest batting, top of the 7th. Runner at second base and 1 out. 0-1 on Ryan Schultz. Sadowska ready once again. And now delivers a curveball high and away for a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike. Marshfield Tigers softball team playing today at Wisconsin Rapids. That ball game now underway. Also in softball, Loyal Greenwood at Spencer today. Auburndale at Assumption. 1 ball, 1 strike on Ryan Schultz. The pitch by Sadowska. Long fly ball down the left field line. Boogar giving chase. The ball falls in the corner. Gets a base hit. Hop running third base. He'll score. Play at second base is late. A double for Ryan Schultz. And Everest goes up 9-5. Ryan Schultz doubles to deep left field to plate another DC Everest run as Haupt scores on the play.
Schultz double, bringing in a run, and that brings up number 16, George.
Double and RBI for Ryan Schultz. And shortstop George Jablonski now batting. Jablonski today 0 for 0. He is sacrificed, hit by a pitch, and scored and walked. Sadowska out of the stretch. Now fires, fly ball toward center field. Griesbach comes on hurriedly, dives, and makes a nice catch in center field. Diving catch for Owen Griesbach, and Schultz back to second base. Well done by Owen Griesbach, coming off that knee injury from football, making a diving catch in center field for the second out.
Number 33, Carter Miller.
Now the DH, Carter Miller, batting for DC Everest. Miller has doubled and scored, struck out, sacrificed, hit by a pitch. Officially 1 for 2 with a run scored. Sadowska ready, turns and fires back to second base. And Schultz back in there safely. Now Jacob back on the rubber. And the pitch to Miller. Low and outside, ball 1. Our score, DC Everest 9, Marshfield 5. Everest batting. Top of the 7th. Runner at second base and 2 outs. 1 ball, no strike on Carter Miller. Sadowska throws once again. High fly ball down the right field line. It will fall in foul territory, just outside the line. Marshfield gets a break there. That ball just foul. Miller comes back with a 1-1 count. Other softball games around central Wisconsin today. Stratford at Newman. Marathon at Edgar. Colby Abbotsford at Gilman. Rib Lake at Athens. Amherst at Neelsville. Stanley Boyd at Fall Creek. Cadott at Regis. Ironwood, Michigan, with a doubleheader today in Park Falls against Shawamigan. The 1-1 pitch to Carter Miller. Fly ball foul to the right side of the play. 1-2. Mosney's at Antigo. Pacelli at Medford. Lakeland at Tomahawk. Merrill at Stevens Point. And Wausau East at D.C. Everest. In high school softball today. Ball and 2 strikes on Carter Miller. Schultz edges off second base, and Sadowska will check him. Pitch on the way, outside, bounds away, but not very far. But now the runner trying to advance. Play at third base. The throw is there, but gets away from the third baseman, Robinson. And Schultz at third base on a short pass ball. The count on Miller now, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Everest leading by 4, looking to pad that lead by getting Schultz in from third. 2-2 on Carter Miller. Digs in once again. Miller now steps out. All of our pitchers taking lots of time today, especially with men on base. 2-2 on Miller. He's back in there. Now Sadowska into his motion. Throws, low and outside. That's ball 3. Miller tossing the bat aside and running down to first base. The umpire calls it back, says that's only ball 3. So Miller needs his bat back. Count on Miller full, 3-2. Sadowska stays in the windup here. Sets and delivers. Line to center field for a base hit. Schultz will score, and Everest leads 10-5. RBI single for Carter Miller plates another DC Everest run.
Miller singles, bringing in a run, and that
RBI base hit for Carter Miller. Schultz scores from third base. Ty Rohde now batting for DC Everest. 1 for 3 with a walk, 2 runs scored. First pitch high for ball 1. Everest back up by 5, now leading 10-5 as the Evergreens bat. Top of the 7th. Miller at first base with 2 outs. One-0 pitch on the way, a swing and a miss. A throw down to first base. Late, Miller gets back safely. Rohde back in there, 1 ball, 1 strike. You can see the sun, the setting sun, the reflection of the shoe factory in left field on the windows out there. That sun getting rather low in the western sky. Ball and a strike on Ty Rohde, the number 2 man in the Evergreens batting order today. Rohde digs in once again. Miller off first base, held there by Bryce Shoddy. And now Sadowska throws, high and outside for a ball. 2 balls, 1 strike. DC Everest and Marshfield baseball today. You're at Jack Hackman Field in Marshfield. Rather lengthy game, but rather entertaining as well today. Count on Rohde, 2 balls and 1 strike. Sadowska gets set. And now Rhodey steps out on him. Lights now, it looks like they're finally coming on. Lights now are on here at Jack Hackman Field. Rhodey back in there, 2 balls and 1 strike. And the pitch by Sadowska, low, blocked nicely by Anderson. Count now 3-1. Three balls, 1 strike on Ty Rhodey, batting for the 5th time today. So all hitters getting lots of at-bats this afternoon. Sadowska throws once again. Ground ball first base side, rolling foul. Count on Rhodey now full, 3-2. Miller heads back to first base. Tigers in the 7th have their 4, 5, 6 men due up against J.J. Lewis. Although the Evergreens are throwing some people in the bullpen. 3-2 on Rhodey. Sadowska sets and throws a long drive to deep right center field. That's in the gap and will drop for extra bases. Miller rounding third base. He'll try to score. Rhodey to second base with a double. RBI double for Ty Rhodey. Plates another run. And Everest now leads 11-5. The Evergreens score 3
Rhodey's double brings in a run and brings up
here in the 7th inning.
19, Cole Van Slyke.
Back up by 6, catcher Cole Van Slyke batting. Van Slyke today has twice flied to left. He's also doubled and scored and reached base on an error. 1 for 4 with a run scored and an RBI. So 3 runs in for Everest here in the 7th inning. Pitch by Sadowska, a long drive to right field. Goes back. This ball over his head and to the warning track. Rhodey will score. Van Slyke rounding second base. He'll hold right there with a double. His second RBI double in this ball game. DC Everest has now scored 4 here in the 7th to lead 12-5. And Nevin Poppy now batting for the Evergreens. Poppy 0 for 3 with a walk today. 4 runs in for Everest here in the 7th. They lead by 7. The pitch from Sadowska. Low and outside, ball 1. Our score now, DC Everest 12, Marshfield 5. Everest batting in the top of the 7th. Van Slyke at second base with 2 outs. Pitch by Sadowska, low for a ball. 2-0. Marshfield down 8-5. Bottom half of the 6th had the tying runs on base. Sadowska throws again, high for a ball. 3-0, at least the tying run at the plate. But now just like that, Everest back up by 7. 3-0 on Nevin Poppy. Sadowska gets set, throws once again. High fly ball down the right field line. Tyler can't find the ball. Now it locates it, makes the catch to end the inning. It looked like at first Tyler couldn't see it, but then waved his arms and said he had it. Pulls it in to retire the side. In the 7th for DC Everest, 4 runs on 4 hits. No errors, a walk, 1 man left on base. We head to the bottom half of the 7th inning with DC Everest leading Marshfield 12-5. We'll come back for more baseball in just a moment.
Wondering what to feed your team after work, the game, or this weekend? Chips Hamburgers in Marshfield has tasty char-broiled burgers for any hungry appetite. From the classic hamburger to the famous Chips Champ and everything in between. Check out our daily specials. Stop inside to enjoy your meal with comfortable seating. See Chips' complete menu of burgers, hot ham and cheese, hot beef, chicken and fish, fries, rings, curds, and ice cream, all served year-round. In a hurry? Same great menu in the drive-thru. Chips Hamburgers in Marshfield. Be a champ and have a chipperific day.
Is your business, church, or organization getting a fair deal on your copier contracts? Do you even know how much you're spending? Bauer & Fine Business Technologies has been in the office technology industry for 70 years. We have an award-winning service department, and customers love our fair and flexible service contracts. If you're currently a customer, thank you. If you currently work with one of our competitors, let's talk. We can tell you if you're overpaying or getting a good deal. BBT, we want to be the easiest vendor you work with. b-bt.com.
And right-hander Cade Felch comes in to pitch for the Evergreens. Cade Felch, the new pitcher for DC Everest. J.J. Lewis went 1 inning, gave up 2 runs on 3 hits, walked 1. And Felch, the Everest basketball standout, the 3rd Everest pitcher of the day. He'll face Marshfield's 4, 5, and 6 men here in the 7th inning. Lights now are on in full effect as Marshfield bats here in the bottom half of the 7th, trailing by 7. Felch, a tall right-hander, getting loose. Everest has led all the way, but their lead was 8-5 in the 6th, and Marshfield had the tying run at home plate. Could not score further. Just like that, Everest scores 4 in the top half of the 7th to pull away and lead by 7 here in the 7th inning. Felch getting 1 or 2 more warm-up throws as we get set to resume play. Tall right-hander, had a good basketball season for the Evergreens. Now we're hampered this season by the injury to Cohen Preby. Missed part of the season and then may not have been at full strength when he did come back. So Felch a real mainstay on that Evergreens basketball team this year. Leadoff man for Marshfield in the 7th is catcher Mason Anderson, who was struck out twice and reached base in an error. He's 0 for 3. Felch now working from the stretch with nobody on base. Sets and delivers. A long drive to deep left field. Hochberger comes on. Ball falls in front of him for a base hit. And Mason Anderson singles to left field to open the Tiger 7th inning. Here's Bryce Shoddy batting for the first time.
Single for Anderson brings up number 10.
Tiger first baseman replacing Caleb Schaefer, who was 0 for 2 with a walk. Shoddy batting left-handed. Felch throws, ground ball towards second base. George grabs it, plays to first base in time for out number 1. I'll take the sure out at first base. With George going towards first base, would have to pivot and go to second for the force play. He takes the sure out for out number 1. And Anderson goes to second base on the play. Easton Ledden, who did serve as a courtesy runner earlier, will now bat for Connor Vandenberg. Vandenberg 0 for 3 today as Ledden comes to bat. Easton digs in. Cade Felch on a relief for DC Everest. Felch working from the stretch. Sets and delivers. Over for a call and strike 1. It's DC Everest 12, Marshfield 5. Marshfield batting last half of the 7th. Runner at second base and 1 out. 0-1 on Easton Ledden. Felch set once again. He now delivers. Over for a call, strike 2. No balls and 2 strikes on Easton Ledden. Tigers down to their final 2 outs here. Wind still blowing pretty briskly from the north. Has helped balls in the air today. 0-2 on Ledden. And Felch throws. Popped up into center field. Ty Rhodey drifting back a few feet. Now goes back and drops the ball. Ball off his glove and falls safely Lennon Anderson to third base. He'll hold right there. That ball got behind Rohde. And they'll give Lennon a double on that play. Easton Lennon doubles to deep center field. Anderson to third base with one out.
Second and third.
And here comes Tyler Kramer, now playing second base. Tyler 1 for 3 with a run scored today. Pitch by Felch, swung on and missed for strike one. You may have seen the news that the Wisconsin Woodchucks of the Northwoods League will sponsor a summer collegiate softball team this year called the Wausau Ignite. And they'll play their ball games at Athletic Park this year. There's the 0-1 pitch. That ball driven to center field for a base hit. Anderson scores, and the ball gets away from the center fielder Rohde. Lennon scores, and Kramer takes third base. 2 runs are in. Marshfield trails 12-7. Kramer singles, scores 1 run. We'll give him 2 RBIs on that play. But then he goes to third base as the center fielder Rohde overruns the ball. 4th Everest error today.
Puts Kramer at third.
Tyler Cum now batting.
Tyler Cum.
Tiger right fielder is 1 for 3. Swings and misses here for strike 1. Now DC Everest 12, Marshfield 7. Tigers batting bottom half of the 7th. Kramer at third base with 1 out. Pitch by Felch, outside for a ball, 1 ball, 1 strike. The Northwoods League sponsoring a 5-team softball league. The Ignite will be the 5th team. They also played with La Crosse, Madison, Mankato, and Minot last year. Pitch by Felch, in the dirt for a ball, 2-1. And because of that, Athletic Park in Wausau will be refitted with field turf for the coming year. So the Ignite will play their softball games right there at Athletic Park. Same park where the Woodchucks play their games. 2 balls, 1 strike on Tyler Cum. Felch from the stretch. Throws again, inside for ball 3. 3-1. Play begins on June 10th, concludes with a championship series starting August 4th. Northwoods League softball this summer. 3-1 on Tyler Cum. Felch throws once again on the low outside corner for a call strike, 3-2. Felch trying to wrap up a win here for DC Everest, leading by 5 here in the 7th inning. Here is the 3-2 pitch. That's hit towards second base. George will charge, glove it, play to first base in time for out number 2. On the play, Kramer scores. And Marshfield now trails 12-8.
Ground out brings in the 3rd run of the inning, and that will bring up number 13, Dayton Bugart.
Tiger batter now, Dayton Bugar. He's had a big day. Single, double, and a single again. 3 for 3, 2 runs scored, and a run batted in. First pitch on the outside corner for a called strike. DC Everest 12, Marshfield 8. Tigers batting in the last half of the 7th here at Jack Hackman Field. Bases empty and 2 out. Felch throws 0-1. Across for a called strike 2. No balls and 2 strikes. Tigers down to their final strike. Felch trying to wrap this one up for DC Everest. Felch gets his sign. And now the 0-2 pitch on the way. In there for a called strike 3 to end the ball game. In the 7th for Marshfield, 3 runs on 3 hits. 1 error, no one left on base. Our final score tonight, DC Everest 12, Marshfield 8. Back with a recap following these messages.
1 error.
Good day. My name is Ken Hyman, and welcome to Nasonville Dairy here in central Wisconsin, Marshfield, Wisconsin, as a matter of fact. Nasonville Dairy actually goes back to 1885. We are the oldest plant in Wood County. When our father brought us here in the early 1960s, we ran 7,500 pounds of milk a day. We now run 1.8 million pounds of milk a day. We buy dairy milk from 200 dairy farmers here in central Wisconsin, produce it, and ship it all over the world. We make a lot of different cheeses. We make cheddar, Colby, Monterey, Farmer's Cheese, Pizza Cheese, Quesa Blanca, Quesa de Fir, Seco, Parm, Romano, Asiago, Fontina, Feta Caseri, Cafflatiri, Caffla Graviera, 20 different flavors of Monterey, as well as making Edam, Gouda, and Munster. This has allowed us to go to a lot of different countries. Our furthest accounts are now in China, Japan, Canada, Saudi Arabia. We do ship to Mexico, as well as a number of other places throughout the world. This is what we call Cheese Making 101. We tried to walk you through the cheese plant today, and we're in hopes that you see our people, what they're doing, and the amount of work that goes into producing the products that we hope you enjoy. We make a lot of different cheeses. We make cheddar, Colby, Monterey, Farmer's Cheese, Pizza Cheese, Quesa Blanca, Quesa de Fir, Seco, Parm, Romano, Asiago, Fontina, Feta Caseri, Cafflatiri, Caffla Graviera, 20 different flavors of Monterey, as well as making Edam, Gouda, and Munster. And the cheese be with you.
Two singles, a double, and a run batted in, and Jacob Sadowska double knocked in another run for Marshfield. DC Everest now 3-3 overall, 1-0 in the conference. Marshfield 2-4 overall, and 0-1 in conference play. These two ball clubs back in action against one another on Thursday in Schofield. Game time 5 p.m. Our next high school baseball or softball broadcast on Sports Radio 92.3 FM WOSQ next Tuesday, when the Marshfield Tigers play at DC Everest. Game time 4:30. That broadcast next Tuesday at 4:15 on Sports Radio 92.3 FM WOSQ and WOSQ.